All right, we back in there. I know it's been a while. For some reason, caffeine or whatever it's called, it's not saying that it's connected to Twitch chat. So let me just test that real quick. Testing. Okay, yes, it is working. It just decided to keep it a secret for whatever reason. But yeah, we're back. It's been a while. It's actually crazy looking back and realizing that I only streamed once in all of January. Yeah, schedule is just kind of weird. So sorry, now I'm really nursing on this this Mountain Dew here, but yeah, if you look at the stream description this time, I'm not really at 100% right now. So it's a good thing, I think, that One Piece went on break when it did, because last weekend I came down with something nasty. Some of the worst sore throat I've ever endured. Just constant burning, searing, agonizing pain. So yeah, that had me really messed up. I'm glad One Piece was on break. You would not have wanted to see me streaming in that state. Uh, now I'm on antibiotics, so I mean, I'm doing a little better. No sore throat. That's like a huge difference. Sore throat is definitely like my second least favorite symptom, right behind vomiting. Like anything else, like the coughing and the sneezing and all that, like even fever, I can like that kind of stuff I can power through. It's just sore throat and vomiting I cannot deal. That being said, I am still kind of jacked up. Starting Friday, I've been dealing with some chest congestion, and so I am still pretty phlegmy, still pretty low energy. Honestly, it feels like 2026 is kind of getting off to a false start. So yeah, if it seems like I'm really low energy this stream, that's why. I mean, I don't like it either, because weekends usually the time that I try to get stuff done. I stay pretty busy during the weekdays, but like all day yesterday, I was just like barely getting through, trying to clean up and get stuff done, and just kind of failing at it. So now I'm kind of in this. I'm in that mode, where I'm just kind of like gritting my teeth, trying to get through to the next vacation. I'm gonna have a little bit of time off in like a couple weeks, and then I think I'm finally gonna be able to rest and actually get better. Until then, I'm just kind of surviving right now. Yeah, in the meantime, I've been taking on some smaller projects. You probably noticed that even though we've mostly updated the look of the channel, we've got the new like early 90s theme with the bright pink and everything. We still got like the old airing soon screen and the old intermission screen and all that. We're gonna be cooking up some new stuff, trying to perfect our presentation for the year of 2026. And we ran into like a little bit of what do you call it? A bit of a creative block, because there's this person on YouTube, right, who provides copyright-free music, and they say, you can use it, just let me know. And so I've been trying to get in contact with them via comment, via email, and there's been nothing. So I figured the best way to do it is just play it safe and just kind of score my own like royalty-free streaming music. So that's why I got the old. That's why I got old Patience out. That's her name. That's my guitar. Her name is Patience. Excuse me. I just wolfed down some fried chicken and chocolate chip cookies right before this. Finally burned through all my Christmas chocolates, so I got some really nice, well done chocolate chip cookies from a local bakery. I like my chocolate chip cookies well done and pretty mild. I don't like things that are too sweet. And I prefer them with a little saltiness to them. These ones are pretty good. The best chocolate chip cookies are the ones that are a little crispy on the outer edge, and then not really soft and chewy, but like firm in the center, I think. Like not too crispy, not too gooey. But yeah, I've been trying to score some music for the channel, and I'm willing to bet a lot of you didn't even know that I play guitar, and honestly, I really don't. But I own a guitar, and I know enough of the basics that I can hash out some quick and dirty licks. And so that's what I thought I'd do to punch up the channel. Like have some little soft electric noodling going on, pre-stream or during intermissions or at the end of the stream or whatever. Of course, a lot of this stuff has been packed up. I keep my guitar under my bed, and I need to find the auxiliary cable and the speaker and get everything connected. And now I just don't even have the mental clarity to make something that sounds nice. I'm gonna try probably later today and over the course of the next week to make some nice sounding music. So working on that, working on new airing soon and intermission screens and end of stream screens. Just a little stuff in the lull between the latest video to come out and my next one. I know I said that I wanted to release a new version of my introductory video, but I'm kind of apprehensive about it just because that video is the video with the most views. It's up to 31 views now, and it'd be a shame to lose all that. Man. And I know that I said I wanted my next video to be either me and Jaren watch Spawn or me and Jaren watch Uzumaki, but given the circumstances, I'm kind of tempted to edit together my first impressions of Flick's piece that I did way back when I first started streaming in preparation for season 2 coming out. I don't know. I'll play it by ear. Yeah. By the way, you like the new shirt? I'm very ashamed of myself because I told my mom that I would wear the nice brand new shirt that she got me for Christmas for my first stream of 2026, and then it just totally slipped my mind. But here it is, looking pretty good. I like the green. We're very dragon-pilled around here, We got all our dragon decor. You can see it back there. Little dragon sculpture that I painted. And it goes with my Mountain Dew. So that's neat. Man, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And I just have no idea what. How are my shelves looking? I mean, I don't know if you can tell on stream, but I did some dusting. And by dusting, I of course mean that I just got a big old can of canned air, and then just that's my life hack right there. It's just why painstakingly dust all your little figurines and stuff when you can just get some canned air. Yeah. So yeah, man, I am definitely forgetting something, and it's just Hey, Jaren, what's up, man? Yeah, we were just taking it slow. I'm just getting settled in, showing off the new shirt that I got for Christmas. I meant to wear this for the first stream in 2026, and I just forgot. I know I said I was going to do trailers first, but man, I don't know. I probably should do these trailers first. Here's the thing, right? Is I was looking at all my favorites on my bookmarks and stuff, and there's a ton of trailers that I thought I already watched, and I just can't remember. So I thought I would fire those up real quick. Just do a quick lightning round. It's all trailers for One Piece. Flick's piece, I like to call it. So what is this? Did I watch this already? I feel like maybe I already watched this. I can't remember. This looks familiar. Yeah, it looks pretty okay. Characters are mostly looking the way they're supposed to. Nice costumes, nice effects, nice sets. One thing that trips me up is Chopper's a little. But you already knew that Chopper was going to be looking kind of scuffed. It's just when fans made their own version of what they thought Chopper should look like, and it was basically just a Photoshop version of Detective Pikachu. I feel like I preferred that to the official version we got. Okay, so we watched that. Did we watch this one? Man, I can't remember crap. Oh no, we got to see Mr. 3, and he's looking real cool. He's looking like the creep he's supposed to be. Yeah, I figure after this, we'll watch some Andy M. Lee videos.
You will never find the One Piece.
Yeah, this is cool, but it's like I've been saying, considering how long it takes to make this, like, they're gonna have to swap out these actors at some point because they're gonna start getting old. Like, think about how long just regular One Piece is, and I'm thinking what it's gotta be like if they're like really in it for the long haul. They're gonna be doing this for decades. Yeah, it's pretty slick. So yeah, I think we did see that one. Yeah, One Piece into the Grand Line, and I've been saying that the subtitle for season 3 should be Memoirs of a Desert Kingdom. Okay, so we watched that one, and then here we go. This one, I think maybe we have not watched this one yet. It is looking really familiar, though. I think it's just more of what we've already seen. Okay, now this is looking pretty.
They're an organization of assassins.
This is looking pretty similar. I feel like maybe I accidentally bookmarked this twice somehow. Glad One Piece is the anime that gets a good live action adaptation. I mean, once upon a time, pretty much everybody thought it was impossible. Like, if anything, this is the one anime that we all said could not be done in live action. So, in that respect, it's pretty impressive. There are some little weird creative decisions, some omissions and writing tweaks and whatever that I'm not 100% behind on, but all things considered, it's still like really strong. I mean, compared to other like live action anime adaptations Netflix has done that have just absolutely flopped. Like this is more than passable. No. We saw that. You don't have to show it to me again. I mean, I can't remember. Did you watch The Last Flicksbender? Because, oh my gosh, that was a real ass sandwich right there. Man, we watched that on stream, and it's wow, that was brutal. It was brutal, just really weird characterization, really weird, like, bad pacing where everything's all mashed up and awkward. Just, like, I don't know. It's been too long. I gotta, like... And yes, we did watch Flick's Note together, and that was also just, like, a total ass attack. Where it was just like really dumb with really crappy, unlikable characters that weren't at all like how they should have been. It was just dumb. And I haven't even watched Netflix's Cowboy Bebop. I'm not even sure if there's really a point because there's no... there's no hint that it's ever coming back. And Flick's Note was good for a laugh. It was funny. We had a good guffaw at how crappy it was, but Cowboy Bebop, as far as I can tell, is just cringe. And it is an adaptation of what I would consider to be the best anime. Like, Fully Cooley will always be my favorite. But deep down, I can acknowledge that Cowboy Bebop is just, like, absolute peak. Like, the perfect all rounder where like the art and the story and the voice acting and the pacing, it's all there all the time. No weak links. Yeah, better than M Night. Well, it's better than M Night. Yu Yu Hakusho was decent, but it was too short. There was a live action Netflix Yu Yu Hakusho, or maybe not Netflix, but there was like a live action. I'm not a big Yu Yu Hakusho guy, so I don't know too much about that. But here's the thing, right? Flixbender is better than M Night's Avatar for what it is, but worse in terms of what it embodies. Because last I checked, Flixbender was made like with the stamp of approval from Mike and Brian, who have just pretty much made it their careers to take the one awesome thing that they made and just completely ruin it and divide their own fan base against itself. I mean, they made Legend of Korra, and Legend of Korra was ass, and I would argue that it did more damage to the Avatar franchise than M. Night's Avatar. M. Night's Avatar was actually a net gain for The Last Airbender because it kind of like spurred the fan base onto action, and the public outcry was so loud that it got people curious in The Last Airbender, and so they would go watch the vastly superior cartoon and fall in love with it. Like, that was a good thing. And everyone knew that the live action movie sucked, and they didn't want to watch it, and we never got a second one. That's good. But when the people who largely take credit for creating The Last Airbender, they go and make like a crappy sequel. Now all of a sudden there's this like really obnoxious discussion to be had about like about what's better, about what's worse, about what is or isn't a retcon, about how much they're entitled to just screw with something that everybody has fallen in love with. And then they collaborate with Netflix on Flixbender, and it's like, what are you doing? It's almost like a terrifying portal into another world where they actually had like perfect creative control over The Last Airbender, and is just vastly inferior. Because the thing about The Last Airbender was that it was basically like the Reese's peanut butter cups of cartoons. It was like the perfect like miraculous combination of all the right people having the right ideas in the right place at the right time, all working together in grand synthesis. Like there simply is no doing that over. Certainly not when it's like a Star Wars situation where now all the credit has been unfairly heaped on like a very small core number of people, and so they're given like far more creative freedom than before, and then you see that they really don't get too far without like their support network. Sometimes Avatar I put in the same vein as Netflix Devil May Cry. It's not good, but it didn't harm the franchise. Depends on what you mean, right? Because nothing is ever going to take away like all those awesome games that we played, but there is a certain bitterness to the idea that like that's the last Devil May Cry thing to have come out. That is the fond farewell to the franchise, is Green Day's American Idiot and playing over like weirdly political, hyper Americanized like grossly misunderstood Devil May Cry, where all the characters are just like messed up. And like, it just sucked. It just straight up sucked. No, it's not the it's almost certainly not the farewell like once and for all, but like for now it is. And I'm not even sure I've seen too much about season 2. I'm actually kind of surprised that they're even doing it. Um, I think that if DMC couldn't kill Devil May Cry, I think that Netflix can pull it off. Kind of. Because to me, the way to really finish something off is to wear it out. Because the DMC reboot was like just such an outrage and stirred such a massive controversy that it in its own way breathed new life into Devil May Cry as a franchise. The way to kill off DMC once and for all is to make something that is just like that is just such slop, that is so just like boring and played out, that's like there's just not even anything to say about it. And I don't see season 2 of Flicks May Cry making a big splash. It's probably going to be just a big nothing burger. But yeah, I'm sure Devil May Cry is going to come back at some point in some capacity. I mean, we were just talking last night about a possible remake. Now that Kami is working with Capcom again. But obviously before that, I would very, very much like Beautiful Joe 3. Everybody's pretty hyped about Okami 3, and that's pretty cool. But Beautiful Joe 3 is the one thing that would get me to absolutely mark out. Like I would literally prostitute myself in order to get Beautiful Joe 3 made. If Kami had just appeared before me and he's like, hey, go down on me and I will make Beautiful Joe 3, that's the day that the pants come off and the lipstick comes on. Daddy's got a new job. Because I need that. I need Beautiful Joe 3. I've waited too long, too patiently for Beautiful Joe 3. Like, come on. Please. Yeah. And, speaking of superheroes, the other thing I want to check out today was some content from a guy. It's called Andy M. Lee. This is a guy that I started to watch. And then I realized, wait, this would be like good for stream. Because, yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, we're big fans of superheroes here. on Cross H Productions. We like talking superhero stuff. We keep an eye on all things superhero, sort of. Um, I mean, maybe not with the same fervor as the old days. Um, More and more, I've been getting burned out ever since Infinity War was just like massively disappointing. But we still check out what's going on every once in a while. One thing though, actually, before we dig into it, this is what I uh, this is what I was forgetting that I wanted to talk about. So, Jaren, you showed me that trailer for Return to Silent Hill, right? And we both agree that it was pretty hype. Like it looked the way that it's supposed to. It sounds the way that it's supposed to. The voice performances are all there. The music is there. The tone is there. It just looked like a really hype trailer, and I was looking forward to the movie. So what happened? Like, as far as I can tell, everyone hates that movie. It came out just recently. Like, when did this come out? Return to Silent Hill came out January 23rd, so just last week. It's actually been almost exactly a week. And all I hear is people saying that it sucks. Nothing specific. They just say that it sucks, it's awful, don't watch it. But I watched the trailer and it looked freaking awesome. So do you know what happened? Why people turned against this movie? I'm like morbidly curious now. I gotta see if it's like playing locally, because I still want to see it. Like, despite all word of mouth, that trailer just had me absolutely sold. Very curious to learn more about that. But yeah, here's this YouTuber. He does superhero stuff. He's called and you watched it. Oh, hold on a second. So you actually went and watched it in the theater. So I mean, how was it? Did it did it live up to the hype? Did it live up to the anti hype? Is it as bad as people say, or is it underrated? Because I always try to take the public opinion with a grain of salt. I mean, people said that the Speed Racer movie is terrible, and I think it's one of like the best live action anime adaptations ever. So not as bad as people are making it out to be, but they did change some things to the lore. The director said he wants to make a director's cut. Well, that's fine. In its current state, it's a little messy. Okay. Because I did catch little hints of things that didn't seem entirely Silent Hill 2 ish, like saying that something happened to the town, and there was like an effect that wasn't really on brand for Silent Hill 2. It was more of a Silent Hill 3 thing, like the weird creeping, what looks like veins. So I wouldn't be surprised if the advertising was just like straight up deceptive. You can tell they were trying to cram things in. I mean, that's not really too surprising either. Uh, the whole story of Silent Hill 2 is like a slow boil that takes place over what? How long does it take to beat Silent Hill 2 if you know what you're doing? Like if you know exactly what you're doing, what it's take like 6 hours. Mary gets tied to this. That does sound. That does sound kind of weird. Because from what I can tell, the number one thing that people love about Silent Hill 2 is that it is so laser focused on the psychological aspect of Silent Hill, with little to no occult aspects at all, and that's what makes it such a unique specimen. That's why uh, it's almost like a fandom in and of itself. People who don't care for any other Silent Hill will talk hype about Silent Hill 2 because it is so its own thing. They gave James Sunderland a painting hobby. Well, I mean, that doesn't sound like a big deal. If anything, that sounds kind of cool. Yes, the cult thing does take a far back seat. Yeah, Silent Hill 2 is a really good example of games as an art form because it is expressing a theme through the means that are unique to video games. Like, it's one thing to have, like, great presentation, great music and acting and plot and setting and costumes and beautiful visuals and cinematography, all that. But you can get all those things from other media. You can get that from movies or books or paintings or or music albums or whatever. But the interactive aspect is unique to video games, and so the way that the game subtly profiles you through your play style that influences your course through the game is, I think, just brilliant. You want to watch the director's cut together? So, are you saying that I shouldn't watch the theatrical version? Or do you think I should so that we can get like a comparison going? Because I'm kind of down to watch both versions. And one other thing before like digging into these Andy and Lee superhero videos is some FF7 talk. So just last night, I went ahead and downloaded um, the Final Fantasy VII off of Steam, the current 2013 release of Final Fantasy VII, because word is they're delisting it and replacing it with a new version, and people aren't really clear on what that entails. Uh, but I watched a video like speculating and theorizing that it's going to have the boosters from like more recent console versions, you know, like triple speed, no random encounters, that kind of thing. Uh, they suspect it's going to be more stable. That's going to have better controller support, all that kind of thing. The number one thing on Godfather. See, I didn't fall in love with the first Godfather enough to watch part two or part three. There was a while, like, sorry to go on a tangent from the tangent, but there was a while where I was like really interested in gangster movies, where I was trying to like catch up on all of the classics. So I watched Goodfellas, Godfather, and was it The Usual Suspects? Hold on a sec. Was that with Kevin Spacey? Yeah. It was that. What's the other one that I'm thinking? Oh, Reservoir Dogs. No, I haven't watched Reservoir Dogs yet. I get Reservoir Dogs and The Usual Suspects mixed up for some reason. That was the one with like Mr. Pink and Mr. Blonde or whatever, right? Yes. Okay. Um, and yeah, y'all got any gangsta movies? It was not. The genre was not clicking for me. I still have Scarface on DVD, and I have not seen that. I figure I will at some point. But and I probably will watch Reservoir Dogs at some point. But so far, gangster movies as a genre just have not clicked for me. I don't get the romance for gangster as a genre. But I know they've got a lot of films that were considered classics, so I thought I'd give them a fair shake. But the first Godfather, I thought was just like really epically long-winded. Um, it was also unintentionally hilarious, like the part where the guy's like hiding out in Italy, and then his lover gets blown up by a car bomb. I mean, I was pretty sure that was supposed to be like a tragic twist of fate, and instead I just busted up laughing because that's what you get. That's what you get when you go and have a secret love life in Italy when you're on the run from the mob. Is you get your your lover blown up by a car bomb. Okay. Um. Yeah. So I was just saying. Oh yeah. So the number one thing that I'm curious about when it comes to this new release of FF7 on Steam is this is such a minor detail, but I wonder if they're going to change how Eris's name is spelled. Because there's been this huge schism for the longest time. Like, how is Eris's name spelled? That like it's spelled one way in the original release, spelled differently in every other release, but every time they re-release the first version, they don't change the way that it's spelled. Like they'll change other things, but they won't change how Eris's name is spelled. So it's like that's the way that it's spelled, but the other people are saying that's not how it's spelled. And whatever. It's just this big like schism within the fan base, and it's really trivial in the grand scheme of things. It would be nice if that's the way that they want it spelled. If they want it spelled uh, Aerith, which frankly I think is stupid. I think it looks stupid. I think it sounds stupid. Aerith is not a real name. Eris is. But if that's how they want it spelled, like, just please, by all means, like, change it in Final Fantasy VII. Change it in the real Final Fantasy VII. Change how the default name is spelled in Final Fantasy VII. When you first get the character, you first load up, and you first get to name it, you see what the default name is. And every version I ever played is Aeris. Right? That's just how it's spelled. And for some reason, there are just a lot of people that are convinced that that's not true, that that's wrong. And in Kingdom Hearts, it's spelled differently, and then in Advent Children, and like everything else, it's spelled differently, but except for the actual game called Final Fantasy VII. So if they want it spelled differently, I wish they would just go ahead and do it because they changed other things. They they improved the translation. They fixed the sky are sick uh, grammar error. It just says the sky is sick now. I think they also changed information Shinra. I would be curious if there are any translation tweaks at all, like really drastic translation tweaks. Because if they want to change how Eris's name is spelled, I wouldn't be opposed to that. But like, I don't trust Square Enix with Final Fantasy VII anymore, and so I would be really worried. Um, about about changes. Because here's the thing, right? She's always going to be Eris to me. Well, what do we name her in our playthrough? Because I don't remember. And here's the thing. So, Final Fantasy VII comes out in Japan, in Japanese, and that is the truest, most pure Final Fantasy VII experience. You play Final Fantasy VII. You play the Japanese Final Fantasy VII. You speak Japanese. That is the purest version of FF7, right? But then it comes out in North America. It's way more popular than it ever was in Japan. It sells like gangbusters, and it's that's the most popular, most beloved version of Final Fantasy VII. But then what happens is people say, "Oh, well, that translation is bad. It's bad. It's not accurate. It takes liberties. It's wrong. That's not the real Final Fantasy VII. They changed it." And how do I put this? I don't know how to say this. It's like, how much does that actually matter? Right? How much does the creator's intent take precedent over what the masses have come to know and love? Because if you're just looking at it on paper, in the strictest sense, it should be, these people made this game, and then translators came and messed it up, and that's not right. That's not the way it should be. It should be the way that the people who wrote the Japanese version should want it to be. But then, over the course of the past 30 years, we see what stands the test of time. And we see that people really like the English version. And so even if it's not necessarily right, I would say that it is for the better. And the reason I bring this up is I take massive issue with all of the changes that happen in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Right. And I've already talked to you about this, but strictly speaking, Final Fantasy VII Remake is not a remake. It is a sequel that is based on time travel with the assumption that all the events of the real Final Fantasy VII already happened. That's what it is. And all of the changes to the story are a result of that. Because it is not an old story that has been changed. It is a new story based on an old story to a degree that it is that has a great many similarities. And I don't like that. I think that it's false advertising. I think that it is exploitative. I think that it is taking a legacy franchise and using it as a springboard for a new story that nobody really asked for, and just feels really inappropriate, for lack of a better word. Like the idea that Tetsuya Nomura got hired to make a remake of FF7, and he doesn't like that. So instead, what he's gonna do is he's gonna lie, and he's gonna fake you out, and he's gonna actually make a stealth sequel that is like a weird meta commentary on remakes in general. And his personal experience with making a remake and how he feels creatively stifled. It's just that it just feels crass. I don't really know how to put it. It feels like an abuse of artistic talent. I just disagree with it philosophically, ethically. It really bothers me. And it bothered me on two different levels. One, it's different when it shouldn't be. And two, I think it is immeasurably worse. Like vastly, vastly inferior to the real Final Fantasy VII. I don't like anything about the way Final Fantasy VII Remake is written. And then, the apologists, the FF7 Remake Defense Force, they say things like, no, you've got it wrong. This is the way it's supposed to be. This is more true to that original Japanese FF7. The Final Fantasy VII that you know, the English translation of FF7, that's the one that got it wrong. And now we are getting the true FF7 experience through FF7 Remake. And, I'm sorry, but, one, I think that just really lampshades how much better we, the American audience, had it. I mean, if you're saying that Final Fantasy VII Remake is more similar to the original Japanese script for FF7, all that really does is confirm my opinion that all the changes made in adapting it for a Western audience were for the better. And two, it I don't know. It just feels like a very stubborn and out of touch creative decision. Like, who you gotta think about? Who are you making this game for? If not the vast throngs of FF7 fans out there who have been clamoring to see the game that they fell in love with fleshed out and given more polish. Even if the translated version was not necessarily the original created intended, even if it wasn't the original intended product, there should be some consideration for what fans love and what they're looking for and what they're asking for. And I don't know, it just feels weird and pointless to be like how do I put this? To be like, no, you the fans are wrong. It is the creators who are right. I don't know if I'm making sense. But is it good to play at least? See, we touched the demo like that one time. And so I can't really say for sure what the gameplay experience is like. And normally I would have more consideration for it. Because I'm more of a gameplay guy, you know. It's a game. The gameplay is like the defining feature of games as a medium. So that should be the most important facet of a game, is the gameplay. There are lots of ways to experience like visual beauty or awesome narratives or compelling themes or whatever. But the only way to experience awesome gameplay is through games. So in a lot of cases, I would be willing to cut a crap story some slack if I can at least get some good gameplay. But I don't think I can do it for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah, and I know that I would be able to make my argument a lot better if I wasn't like chronically ill right now and just got like really bad fog brain or whatever. Just really freaking tired. And phlegmy. But I mean, the basic idea, you know, the too long didn't read version of it is saying that the creators of Final Fantasy VII are entitled to make it as crappy as they want and make stupid changes. Just like totally misses the spirits of making this stuff in the first place. I mean, fans are right and fans are wrong and the creators are right, and fans should just put up with it and buy it and play it and enjoy it anyway. Well, like, who is this made for? if not for us, the fans who grew up with Final Fantasy VII. And if we grew up with Final Fantasy VII, then almost certainly it is the English version of Final Fantasy VII that is the most popular, best-selling version of the game. Saying that we are not valid for holding Final Fantasy VII Remake up to that standard just feels like really backwards and hollow. And I guess it's just been living rent-free in my head lately for a couple reasons. One is, the news, the very recent news that the old version of FF7 available on Steam was going to be replaced with a new version. And there are concerns about, or I have concerns about what Square Enix might do. Because they, like many other game companies, don't seem to have any appreciation for games or art in general as products of their time. They feel the incessant, obsessive need to correct and revise and modernize and all that slop. And the other thing is this. Okay, so this is what happened. So Iron Mouse posted this video titled Iron Mouse Plays Final Fantasy VII for the First Time. And you could probably tell right away from the little preview here that there's absolutely no way that that's Final Fantasy VII. That is Final Fantasy VII Remake, which to me is a fundamentally different game. This is not the same game at all. It may be based on FF7, but it is not FF7. It is FF7 Remake, and that just got to me. And it's not that I think that she did it on purpose to fool people. No, it's not. I'm thinking she's one of the people who is confused and does not understand the difference between FF7 and FF7 Remake, because Square Enix has been very deliberately misleading in that regard. And so, because I have a burning vendetta against Final Fantasy VII Remake, I comment bombed this video. Or I just left comment after comment after comments talking about how, this just is not it. This is not Final Fantasy VII. This is not Final Fantasy VII Remake. Or this is not Final Fantasy VII. This is Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's not Final Fantasy VII. It's not as good as Final Fantasy VII. It's not the same as Final Fantasy VII. Because here's what is perhaps the most galling thing about the FF7 Remake Defense Force is the fact that they cannot keep their story straight. They will say at one point, they will excuse it at one point by saying, oh, it's the same. It's the same story, or it's basically the same. It's pretty much the same. It's almost the same. With no regard for the fact that any change in a story, even small changes, can have a massive butterfly effect. They could totally change your perspective on a character, or they could change how you interpret a theme. It could radically switch up the tone, anything. And saying that Final Fantasy VII Remake is the same as FF7, or basically the same, or almost the same, is just massively like reductive argument. But then, here's the thing: in the same breath, they'll say, "Well, I like the changes. I like the changes. I think they're good. I'm glad that they're going in a different direction." Like, see, do you like it because it's the same, or do you like it because it's different? Can you please like figure out what your opinion is before you share it with me? I don't get it. Oh, is RE3 the same thing? I heard that they had cut some things. That's what I heard. And I always did kind of hear that, like, of the Resident Evil remakes, RE3 is kind of like the runt of the litter. Would you say that it's drastically different? And or that the differences are for the worse? Not even close. Wow. Not even close. That's scary. That does actually sound like kind of what I go through with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Because I would not know. I would never suspect. Never. Not unless someone explained it to me. And that's another thing about the FF7 remake that bothers me is when I try to explain to people how these games are different, and then people are like, "Hey man, don't spoil." No man, why are you spoiling? Don't spoil it. Like it's called Final Fantasy VII remake. The idea that it can even be spoiled, when the assumption should be that it is virtually identical to FF7, is absurd. That is absurd, and furthermore, I feel like because Square Enix was very deliberately deceptive in their marketing of Final Fantasy VII Remake, down to the decision to even call it Final Fantasy VII Remake, that spoilers are not only called for, but they are a moral imperative. People need to know that these games are different before they play them. Otherwise, they're just set up for epic levels of disappointment. Man, you say they botched Nemesis. Wow. Yeah, I had no idea. I mean, you know me, I am not a big Resident Evil guy. As ironic as that is, being like a big Onimusha guy and a big Don't May Cry guy, I still haven't really laid my hands on the prototype. It's it's in the plans. I have always intended to play the Resident Evil series at some point. So I'm very curious to see what that's going to be like when I do eventually lay hands on all these Resident Evil games and I see how they've changed. Because I've heard even Resident Evil 4 has its problems with like censorship and whatever. But yeah, you were asking what video this is. This is Iron Mouse's. Iron Mouse plays Final Fantasy VII for the first time. Is there a better way that I can pull this up? That's slightly more visible. Oh, whoops. Whoops. Oops. Yeah, I thought we might play Bloons Tower Defense 6 later. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Depends on what I feel like. But, yeah. I don't know. You don't strike me as too much of like a VTuber guy, even though I am probably myself going to become a VTuber at some point. The whole reason I got this like big Chungus drawing pad here was I wanted to be able to get more hands on when I do eventually design my own VTuber model. Just because I thought that would be fun. I would really like to discuss more my thought process behind becoming a VTuber, but I feel like if I did that, that would then spoil too much of like what is in store for my VTuber model. I want it to be more of a surprise. Remake 2 did Mr. X right? I don't know too much about Mr. X. My understanding of Mr. X as an outsider is that he basically walked so that Nemesis could run. No pun intended. But, yeah. So, Andy M. Lee. I was going to watch this guy's videos like an hour ago, and then I got distracted talking about Silent Hill and Final Fantasy VII Remake and Iron Mouse. And, yeah. Hey, Joel Hetzel. Thanks for joining us. We were just talking about FF7 Remake and Resident Evil and just botched remakes and adaptations in general. Thanks for joining us. We were just about to check out Andy M. Lee. This is a YouTuber. He specializes in superhero content, and we're big fans of superheroes around here. I started watching one of his videos until I realized that I really want to like do this on stream. So, yeah, and from what I've seen, he's a pretty awesome guy, so I'd appreciate it if everyone could go out and support him because, you know, here at Cross Age Productions, we don't really believe in, parasitizing or pirating other people's content. We believe in lifting other creators up and supporting them. Cross Age Productions is all about curation and critique. It is not about taking away from other creators. So we always promote going out and supporting these original creators because they're way more original than me. But yeah, this is what caught my eye. He's got at least a couple videos on superhero costumes, and I'm a big fan of superhero fashion. I like superheroes, and I like cool character designs. So this really hit a nice niche for me. So let's check this out. This is annoying superhero costume trends from Andy M. Lee, and this is not piping out into my headphones the way it's supposed to.
Featuring yours truly, a single unqualified idiot who has zero experience in real-world costume design. But before we get into this video, I just want you to know we've had more good costumes than bad ones. And just because I point out one trait I don't like doesn't mean I dislike the costume as a whole. Dude, this list is so invalid, you just cherry-picked the bad one. Yeah, fucking congrats, Sherlock, that's exactly what I did. Anyway, the first design trend we have to tackle is one that I've seen everyone sick of right now. It's the line piping / panel lining.
Oh boy. Lined piping and panel lining. Controversial opinion. I don't mind this. I think that it's fine for the most part. In terms of getting a superhero design across in live action in a way that might work in animation or illustration, but not necessarily in live action, where it might seem overly simplistic. Like, this is a good, quick, and dirty way to like punch up a design.
I want to tackle this one first because I think it's a bit overhated. Everyone always says,
Well, hey, we're actually on the same side. He says that it's overhated, so do I. I've actually never heard anyone complain about it.
it's always a bad thing, but I personally think it has its place and justification sometimes. For example, we got the Captain America stealth suit. I'm telling you right now,
Stealth. Is that really a good example? Also, that doesn't seem much like a stealth suit. I mean, it's got silver on it. But, okay. This is actually a trend that I would like to talk about is, like, why do we hate the color red? No, wait, no. It's not the color red, it's the color blue. That's what it is. For some reason that, like, a lot of these costume designs for superhero movies, they just love red and they hate blue. And so blue is just so ridiculously muted. Like, you can barely tell that's blue at all. It has, like, dark, dark, dark midnight blue. And surprisingly, no red.
this suit would look total ass without
Why no red? Why brown?
the line. You just want some
Are those the American colors? Brown, white, and blue?
flat colors throughout. Doesn't really work with the whole military cargo aesthetic. Besides, that's exactly how we got the 2012 Avengers Captain America suit.
Okay. So, yeah. Yeah, that is kind of what I'm thinking of when I think of how, like, a little extra piping can go a long way. Because look at his chest. Look at just like this big region, this big no man's land of like no design whatsoever. That's tough. Yes, please do watch this video. I'm also going to be watching, where is it? I should not have clicked on it like this. I figure I'll also watch this one. This is the one that I started watching. It's also titled Annoying Superhero Costume Trends. And I also want to watch MCU's Rejected Character Designs. And I think there was like another one. I thought there was another one. Now, maybe it was just... Oh, wait. Here's another one, also titled The MCU's Rejected Character Designs. So those are like the 4 that I want to watch right now. So yeah, like big blank region right there. And the number one thing that screws it up is like the big freaking Mega Mind 5 head.
Yeah, we all love, right? And I know for a fact that a shit ton of people were upset with the New 52 redesign. I kind of grew up with the New 52, so...
Nah, I'm gonna say those are fine. Like, let me get a better look at those. Like, okay, so the perspective on Green Lantern's little logo is kind of scuffed. And I don't much care for Coke Zero Wonder Woman, where there's no blue and no gold. It's just red and black and white. But, I mean, Superman looks fine. Batman looks fine. Flash, Cyborg, Green Lantern. They pretty much look fine.
To redesign. I kind of grew up with the New 52, so I don't really think I'm allowed to complain. But characters like the Flash and Batman, I actually think they do look more modern with those lines running throughout. But that's beside the point because
Yeah.
the comic form and live action is different. So if you didn't already know, the purpose of these lines/panels is to break up solid colors on the costume. Especially because in armor and tactical gear in real life, you wouldn't just see one solid color just rolled out. And if the costume is just one flat color throughout, it might look a bit weird on screen, especially to a...
It can work. Like, that's almost what I expect for like Power Rangers costume design. I can't really explain it. Maybe it's because they are supposed to have more simple designs because they are always depicted as part of a group. And so they have to be able to look together as a group. Like, the complexity comes from all of them, staying stuck together. So I think they can get away with it more. But if it's a movie where the focus is more on just 2 or 3 superhero costumes, then it makes sense. Especially if you're going to have really big, elaborate action scenes where everybody's crowding in shoulder to shoulder, kung fu fighting, flailing around. Then you would want more simple designs. Almost even go for the Kamen Rider strategy, where you have different versions of the same costume that you wear in different situations. Like the way that Kamen Riders have different helmets that have improved visibility for stunts. Like, they'll just have giant holes cut out for their eyes if they know that there's going to be a lot of motion and people watching aren't necessarily going to be able to see very well.
Going a bit out of the way, let's look at some, in my opinion, bad examples. Exhibit 1A, we got the upcoming Superman costume.
But that's fine, honestly. That is a pretty okay Superman costume. The underoos aren't cringe. The Superman logo is okay. The one thing, right? The one thing about almost any Superman costume that bothers me is the way that, the Superman logo is red. The cape is red. And they almost touch right here in the shoulder region, but not quite. I prefer versions of the Superman costume where the red of the Superman logo just bleeds into the red of the cape to form a single profile. And not so much the ones where they are separate.
Now granted, we haven't seen the movie yet. I could eat my words. This whole section might age like milk, but dude, these lines, they are not doing it for me. Something about the distribution of the lines plus the baggy fit with it as well.
Nah, it's fine.
The baggy costume is wrinkly enough, but then you're gonna add more lines on top of that.
It's really not that wrinkly. I think you're exaggerating.
This looks rough. I mean, just look at the fan art or the edits, just making it too tighter or simplifying out the whole.
Okay, hold on. Let's scope this. Nah, not that big a difference. Not in my opinion.
Just makes it way more digestible. Because I feel like if I just pushed on the side, it would just flap down in and out. You know what I mean? I think we can all agree that the Man of Steel comes...
Hold on a sec. If I could take a break from this, because I'm pretty sure I still have a a JPEG saved of a Superman design that someone else did that I thought was cool. I don't know if I still have it. I would very much like to see if I still do. Because I used to do that a lot. Was just browse 4chan and just save cool looking pictures. Here we go. So this, I think, is a sick Superman design. I don't remember where I got this. This picture's very old. But, that's pretty slick. As far as taking the idea of Superman and punching it up in a way that perfectly synthesizes modernity and tradition. That's pretty cool. I like that. especially a big fan of this, the way that the like yellow bits come down and around the Superman logo. I just think that's really badass.
Costume and the brand new Wrath of Kingdom Come costume.
But that, ooh, that's, ooh, ooh, oh. Oh, I hate the Man of Steel costume. I hate the texture on it. It looks like when you look at corrugated cardboard, like on its edge, like the little triangles. It's just way too muddy in terms of texture, in terms of color. It's just so flat and awkward. And I do not like the Kingdom Come costume, like, at all. If there's gonna be black on a Superman costume, it should be the veteran Superman costume that you see in the DC animated universe, where it's all black and white, and Superman, he's got like the little Reed Richards like little white wispy bits right here on his sideburns. Like that's the black costume Superman that I can get behind. Not this. This is blue, black, and red is too muddy for me.
Still prove that simplicity works the best for Superman. And then this costume is made by his parents. It looks a bit too technical with the lines everywhere, but if it's an alien costume, it looks a bit too homemade. I don't know, it's a weird in-between.
I'll admit that does look a little bit like a Halloween costume.
There's a reason why everyone blazed that final suit at the end of No Way Home. We finally got rid of
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, for one thing, it's got a bright, vibrant blue, getting away from the inexplicable hatred for the color blue that I see in a lot of modern superhero costume design.
random ass lines just running everywhere throughout his costume. And again, I understand the black
But yo, what, dude? It's Spider-Man. Of course, he's got lines all over his costume.
lines were there to break up the solid colors and make it more visually interesting on screen. But I think nowadays we're slowly favoring the classical. And when you previously had two perfect Spider-Man costumes and one polarizing one, it's a huge risk to...
Yeah, and say what you want about Amazing Spider-Man 2, and believe me, we all have. That is the best Spider-Man costume. Like, straight up. Like, maybe it's not too flattering here in this lighting where he's just kind of standing there looking like a putz. But, like, this is pretty solid. This, to me, strikes a good balance in terms of his eyes as well. I'm always very picky about Spider-Man's eyes, where I don't like it if they're too small, and I don't like it if they're too big. I really don't like it if they're too big. But this is like, that is spot on. And yeah, if you actually see it in action in the movie, it looks better than this. And Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man costume, always looking fly. The one truly, like, inexcusably awful live action Spider-Man costume I can think of is ASM 1 with the yellow jaundiced looking eyes. Like, why?
add a bunch of shit that wasn't there originally. And especially when you compare it to the most recent suit we got, yeah, it looks really clean without the line. Even if edits of the home
I think it's all fine. Seeing that, though, makes me yearn for, like, really old school Spider-Man that has the webbing under his arms. That I can dig on.
pops off the screen so much more.
Actually, just to go back a little bit, the little itty bitty black lines that separate the red and the blue go such a long way. Makes it feel very illustrated.
Edits of the homecoming suit without the piping everywhere, it just pops off the screen so much more. Right, the Iron Spider suit, listen, I was never really...
Okay, no, we're not. What is this guy about to say? Is he about to say that he doesn't like it either? Because if so, like, right there with you, man.
a fan of it because, my god, something just looks wrong. I don't know.
Well, first off, just CG costumes when there is no need for CG costumes. Like, please spare me. Second, it's just like, on top of being like CG soup, It's just too muddy. It's too muddy for me. That's why I like in No Way Home. There's a combination of his normal suit and his like nanotech suit that inverts the colors for the Spider-Man logo. So it's gold with like dark blue lines instead of dark blue with gold lines. So much better.
I'm really a fan of it because, my god, something just looks wrong. I don't know if it's the colors or something, but maybe it's because we went from this to this.
Also, doesn't help that his eyes aren't like bright, outstanding white.
This might actually be a world record for most amount of lines added to a live-action superhero costume compared to the comic book counterpart. Exhibit 1C, we got John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. I mean, do I really need to say anything here?
Okay, I haven't seen this one, so I can't speak too much about what it's like to actually see it in action. But yeah, that certainly is the superhero costume of all time. Like that is really, really effing boring.
The guy looks like a 2035 Mario Kart racetrack. If you saw this guy, you would not assume he's some good old family man superhero who's super into science. No, you would assume that he's some military tested tech-based working weapon. Especially when you compare it to how classic the upcoming Fantastic.
Man, that guy's boring. Yeah. Even those, preferable. Like, I really didn't hate those costumes. They had like really big bulges, which is a little weird. Like, they had some like serious cod pieces going on, and like fake booty cheeks. But yeah, this specific blue as well is really slick. Best version of the Thing ever, by the way. Ever. Like in every conceivable way.
In my opinion. Alright, second design trend I think I have to get out of the way because everyone talks about it. It's the nanotech helmet.
Oh my gosh, what even was that? What is this purple crap? First off, that design is just like, it's the design of no design. That is garbage. No thought. No drip.
And if you haven't, I'm about to indulge you. So the main criticism is that nanotech has infiltrated the MCU so deeply that every character basically has a nanotech component to their costume. I say MCU, by the way, because DC has been relatively sane.
Now, as someone who's grown up with Power Rangers, I'm used to like the henshin aspect. It doesn't bother me.
When it comes to this. So when we had iconic suit ups from Iron Man,
But okay.
and this.
Okay, when you put it like that, yeah, I would have to choose this. Because there was always a certain visceral satisfaction to all the little metal plates just kind of clinking and clanking together, you know?
We kind of maxed out at this.
It's so snappy.
Which makes sense. Iron Man has always been about tech progression, and it did.
Okay, no, that was garbage. That version of Iron Man is garbage. Like, that was past Iron Man's prime as a character, so that will always have a sour taste in my mouth. I did not want to see that version of Iron Man ever. Give me Iron Man 1 Iron Man. Give me Iron Man 2 Iron Man. Give me Avengers 1 Iron Man. Every other Iron Man can eat it.
Play a role into the story of the film. However, let's look at some characters with a nanotech helmets kind of just piss me off. Exhibit 2A, Iron Spider, I'm sorry, but you're back for another beating. Imagine if you told someone 10 years ago, dude, soon, Spider-Man in the movies, he's gonna have a nanotech helmet that can just appear out of nowhere. People will just be like, yeah, sure, dude. Whatever you say. I'm just excited for the greatest movie of all time. Like, brother, I did not know I had to say this out loud, but Spider-Man's costume should not have to be suspended in some containment liquid for it to fucking work. When Peter has a nanotech mask, you just miss out on a bunch
What the hell was that? Why was there a Spider-Man ghost?
human drama. Like this is from Amazing Spider-Man. Or this from Spider-Man 2. I'm just saying it wouldn't have looked the same as Harry had to pull out some sort of encryption hacking device to get rid of that mask. Or what if
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's also just the classic issue of like, now we hired these people, these high profile actors with these recognizable faces and these enormous 100-pound egos. We gotta show off their faces, so let's have them constantly take their masks off all the time. Like, I think Captain America is the most infamous example of that, where he just does not have his mask on at all a lot of the time. And I get it; he doesn't really have a secret identity, so it doesn't even really matter. But like, come on, man, humor us.
pulled off Peter's mask in No Way Home? That would have been so much more dramatic than nanobots just moving around Peter's body. Exhibit 2B, Ant-Man. Now you might be thinking, dude, Ant-Man's whole thing is going nano. What do you mean this doesn't make sense? Listen, it can still make sense in the universe with the rules that just thrown left and right, but it doesn't mean I have to like
Wait,
it.
what?
I've seen Poirot's face pop through underneath that helmet shield. Just plays into his ruggedness as a theme. And obviously it just looks more real, and that Quantumania helmet stuff, it does just look lazy.
Oh, well, I didn't watch that, so I don't know. Yeah, those costumes suck. Those costumes suck. Those costumes are boring.
Yeah, let me just press the button and whoa, it's gone. No repercussions, no weight or anything, it's just fucking gone. And again, I get it, technology in the universe has made this possible, but at this point, this is borderline magic. Exhibit 2D, Black Panther. I think we can all agree that the Civil War Black Panther suit was the best Black Panther suit. The way he just takes off his helmet is just complete fucking horrifying. Then they thought for some reason
It is pretty slick.
just disappeared because, you know, the tech is so advanced. Imagine how much cooler this scene would have been if he just slowly took off his helmet. Yeah, well, Congress technologically advanced. Shut up, okay? Not everything has to be linear and logical in fiction if you want to deliver a better story. Exhibit 2.
I never really minded his look in Black Panther.
Can someone please explain to me why Thor, of all characters, had a nanotech helmet? Okay, it's not nanotech, but it's still the same. Oh, look, it's gone at an instant with CGI because we couldn't decide on what it was going to look like during pre-production. I mean, the way it just disappears. Where is it going? Is it just some magical hologram that wasn't there in the first place? Someone explain. Anyway, lazy. Exhibit 2L, I present Sam Wilson.
Again, haven't had too much exposure to that costume, so it's whatever. I've definitely seen like case in point. I've seen costumes with less personality.
Why? Do you know how cool Steve Rogers looked taking off his helmet before fighting Batroc the Leaper? And you're telling me that Sam Wilson has a visor under another helmet? What? Even in the universe, that doesn't make much sense. I also love how they make no attempt to show where this nanotech helmet falls into. Like, fuck physics, I guess matter just appears and disappears. Or maybe it just falls into its tiny little fabric color. Yeah, that makes sense. At least with Iron Man Infinity War, you can see where the nanotech distributes throughout his body. Sam Wilson's just using magic. Alright, while we're talking about CGI, let's go over this other trend that we all kind of hate right now. And that's when the costume
Hey man, the CG animators, they gotta get paid.
necessarily entirely CGI.
Entirely CGI costumes.
Unnecessarily. Like, I'm not gonna bitch about
Yeah.
CGI. However, sometimes I'm just like, dude, this does not have to be entirely CGI.
I don't know. There was that one very famous cosplayer who proved that you can, in fact, do a physical Thanos. So, I don't know.
Probably from a result of lack of decisiveness from pre-production and planning. Exhibit 3A, we have Black.
No, he's not good. He just left his phone in his pants pocket.
Sorry, by the way, if there's a lot of commotion outside. That's my family. I know I've talked about this before, but I got my grandma with me for the winter.
Panther, once again. I'm sorry, okay? Good character, but we can't let this slide. It seems like every costume in the MCU is now CGI'd over unless you have some sort of military association. I mean, the final fight in Black Panther 1 is borderline just painful to watch. Apparently the VFX team only had 6 weeks to animate that.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Kept changing behind the scenes, which is fucking...
Maybe it's been a while since I've seen it.
Again, they film stuff with the actors, but they have to change everything later on because decisions just kept changing. Also, I know it's based on the Civil War suit earlier, but I'm pretty sure for the most part, every Black Panther suit has been entirely CGI, or at least covered with CGI. They have a practical stand-in for principal photography, and then they just digitally replace it. Sometimes it's not noticeable, but other times it's like, oh.
That's something that bothered me about Iron Man 1 is when I heard that there actually was a physical Iron Man suit that looked almost exactly the same as the CG one. But they still went ahead and replaced it with CG for some reason.
Man, the Matt
Pointless.
War suit definitely made it easier to hide the CGI. But he's got glowing lines everywhere and making it skin tight to his body. Nah. Also, this isn't specific to Black Panther, but everything is covered.
Now, hold on a second. You were complaining before about it not being tight enough.
Gray wash to it to make the CGI less noticeable. You got costumes like Batfleck and BVS that looks really real because it was real. Then you got Black Panther running
Yeah, but that costume sucks, so that's not a good example.
around in CGI glass, moving way too elastic for a real human being to be inside that costume. Fucking looks like Gumby doing parkour everywhere. But I can't talk about CGI superhero costumes without talking about the one that started it all, Exhibit 3B, Green Lantern. It's crazy.
Oh, Green Lantern. Oh, that is rough. That is really bad.
I think that 10 years ago people were shit on Green Lantern for having an entirely CGI costume, but now it's like, fuck it, the entire Avengers just slap some visual suits on them and then we're good. But does Green Lantern suit have to be entirely CGI? No, fucking of course not. But I guess out of all the mainstream superheroes, Green Lantern wouldn't have been a bad one to try it out on. I mean, there's the alien origin and there's the constant energy flow that they went with. So
Nah, dude, no.
didn't make sense on screen.
That's just bad.
No, I don't blame the VFX people, okay? Do you know how long it will take to adjust a digital mask to every single micro-expression of Ryan Reynolds' face? Plus, this was back in 2010, 2011, so technology would not have been as good as it is today. And as if you don't have...
Hold on a second. I'm gonna... I don't know if this is too visible or not. Just gonna dial it down.
enough VFX resources dedicated
Very
to the
slightly.
suit and the mask, but now you have to worry about CGI characters, CGI environments, and these superpowers. Shit was
CGI everything, man.
again, probably just from the lack of
That whole movie makes me sick.
scared this post would have been, and studio executives, they just want to save money. Exhibit 3C, The Flash. If there's an ugly suit for a titular superhero post Endgame award, then The Flash might have it at a clean sweep. I'm someone who liked the Flash costume in the Justice League. I know a lot of people say that's over-designed and stuff, but I think it works.
No, that was garbage. It has freaking strings all over it. Why? Why is it covered in strings? Is it like a Thanksgiving turkey?
The concept that they were going for. What this is, I think we can all agree, unite all the nations here to agree that this suit is 100 times worse. What's funny is that I remember when they first released it, everyone was like, okay, that's not bad. We got a bright red, you know, a very much more simplified than the Justice League suit, but then more images started coming out, some in daylight, some in motion, and Hope just started to spin down like bathtub water in a drain.
Okay, nah, I'm sorry. I don't think this is a suit thing. I think this is an actor thing. I think Ezra Miller just has like a goofy bug face that you just don't even want to look at.
We got bobbleheads, we got flimsy limbs, we got terrible physics, the fucking trifecta of a shitty CGI superhero costume. It's like Civil War Iron Man but on steroids. I mean, just look at that fucking head. That is pasted on. That is not attached to a real body. And the worst part about this is that there was literally no reason for the Flash to have a CGI costume in the first place. Green Lantern, alien origin, okay, I get it. Iron Man, you got a hunky humanoid mech suit. Okay, you can't really do that in real life. The Flash? What? I just have so
I am convinced you absolutely 100% can do those in real life, though. Like, please, tasteful use of CG, please.
Even the physical version of the suit that they made for marketing purposes, it just looks weirdly skin tight and plasticky like a Schumer. I wouldn't believe for a second that a real person can fit in there and move around. It looks like they'd just be stuck. Which is the opposite of what the Flash should be. Also, again, not blaming the VFX artists at all because there are some wildly ambitious action set pieces throughout this film and they probably have 2 hours to animate each scene and they probably got paid pennies and a slice of bread. Next example, we have returning guest MCU Spider-Man as Exhibit 3D. Yeah, you bet your ass these costumes look 3D. The worst culprits would probably have to be the Homecoming suit and the Iron Spider suit. If you didn't already know, they did have a real suit for Spidey's first appearance in Civil War, but that was pretty much just a placeholder for the CGI version to come later. And the thing is, this suit looks good in most cases. It's just that they went skin tight in every single area of the human body, and it just looks weird. Compare that to Andy Garfield's costume.
That looks like a PS3 game.
And you get some wrinkles, you get some flaps, but then you look at this suit, and something about it just looks really off to the human eye. And since they can just CGI the whole thing, sometimes it just looks like there isn't even a human in there. For someone like Iron Man, you get some leeway because it's a chunky boy and your brain can just fill in the gaps like, oh yeah, there's a person in there, I guess. But when you see Spidey's costume fill in every single crevice of the human body, he just looks like a skinny little alien.
It's also just, again, too muddy, too much black to the costume.
CGI, but even in still shots, you can tell that it looks so much more real because of the textures and the layers. Iron Spider, I've said my piece. Like, come on, it just looks real dodgy sometimes. I'm not saying I know any way to achieve this.
Sometimes, more like all the time. Like, I just don't like that costume.
A bit longer and maybe finalize some decisions before filming the actual fucking movie. And maybe don't pick a design like this because it makes his head look really small. Alright, next trend is complete opposite, and that's no CGI when it was completely necessary. Something like picking and choosing bits based on individual blah 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 blah. Sometimes when the budget ain't there, a studio will make a bizarre decision to make a character out of practical effects rather than the very much needed CGI. And I get it, CGI is expensive, and if it's for a main character,
Okay, alright. I'll let you cook. What are you talking about?
some characters feel like if you can't do it with CGI, just don't fucking do it at all. The most extreme example of this is without a doubt Exhibit 4A, Apocalypse and X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh my gosh, freaking Ivan Ooze.
The X-Men equivalent of trying to do Thanos or Darkseid with just makeup. And Oscar Isaac isn't even that short, but at 5'7", 5'8", not the best guy to portray Apocalypse. Apocalypse is supposed to be around 7 feet tall, so yeah, they did the best they could with perspective shifting and stuff, but bro, come on. The height is only one issue, the design itself, my god.
Ivan Ooze, man. Straight up.
Translated to real life, it just looks fucking bizarre. I remember the whole meme about him looking like Ivan Ooze, which was pretty accurate.
There you go.
Thanos and Darkseid a few years after this movie came out makes us all the more embarrassing. It's unfortunate that pretty much means that Marvel's probably not going to touch Apocalypse for a while, but I mean, at least that means they'll use Mr. Soon, which is, you know, I'm down for that. There has been concept art of what Apocalypse could have looked like, and damn. I mean, the armor looks a bit outdated, but if you took that head on the
Trash suit for a trash movie. I honestly, you know, I don't hate it. Maybe I just need more exposure to the Flash suit, but like, I don't know. I've seen worse. I still think that the one that was used in Justice League was worse because it had dumb strings all over it for no reason. And it just looked like it had a lot of like extra angles for no reason that just created more drag for a suit that should have no drag whatsoever.
man, they could have cooked. Anyway, it's not like they would have had any CGI budget left for Apocalypse. That whole Quicksilver saving the house scene, like, are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, if you want to know what probably like who could have cooked a good Flash costume, let me look up what Kamen Rider Zets looks like. Because I don't know if you've seen this guy. But his costume is pretty exquisite. Yeah, here we go. That is pretty slick. I like that, and that's not even the best one. He's got another slightly different one. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty good. Let me unfavorite this, please. And this as well. Unfavorite, you can go ahead and close that.
Speaking of Quicksilver, the way that he pretty much looks exact same size as Apocalypse is pretty fucking nuts to me. Like, that should not compute. Imagine the Flash slapping around a Darkseid the same size as this. That's not right. Anyway, just CGI next time. Brian Singer, I know you like things realistic and colorless, but from now on, maybe just worry about your other alleged problems in life, okay? Exhibit 4B, we got Killer Croc in Suicide Squad 2016. Now, let me just say this. They did an insane job with the makeup. Like, I am honestly not surprised that they won the Oscar. Like, the reptilian skin flaps and the scale texture.
I am.
Unreal, okay? Absolutely amazing artistry. However, I'm just saying that if Killer Croc and Deadshot are in the same movie, Killer Croc should be taller by a significant amount. But I will play devil's advocate here. They were clearly going for a more grounded rendition of Killer Croc, you know, just a guy with a skin condition, and a mental health condition, and a teeth condition, and an appetite condition. That's not the point though. The point is that Killer Croc probably would have looked
Appetite condition, I like that.
save the headache from the makeup and the special effects department, but the whole movie was basically set at nighttime. If that's not a layup for a CGI character, then I don't know what is. I mean, how is this regular-sized man with a skin condition taking on those alien minion things? And the fact that we got King Shark and James Gunn Suicide Squad a few years later kind of proves that this team needed a big bit. And speaking of Suicide Squad 2016, I did make a video covering a bunch of DCE concept art that was rejected, so if you haven't checked that out, check that out now already. I'll link it up here somewhere. Check out my Patreon, $3 a month for extra video.
Haven't seen that, but I do really want to resume this. Now, hold on. Take it from the top. Trench coats.
Those who cannot remember the past are doomed to repeat it. If there was a piece of clothing
Okay, really? You're going to use Gambit? Gambit has always had a trench coat.
Hollywood in the 2000s, it was the trench coat. Somehow, the trench coat's reputation went from being a go-to weapon of a serial sex offender to the coolest piece of clothing an action star could wear. And if you didn't already know, it was mainly because of The Matrix, to which Hollywood learned the lesson. Okay, they didn't succeed because they have a good story and innovative filming techniques, and the key to their success was trench coats and all black costumes, which was a trend we didn't see die until almost a decade later. By the way, for the section, I'm clearly talking about characters who don't typically wear a trench coat, and not characters like Punisher or Gambit. Exhibit 1.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Now, you might notice something with trench coats as we go through these examples. They were basically Hollywood's way of saying that they were scared of capes. I didn't know The Incredibles had that kind of effect on the industry, but there you go. Okay, to be fair, it's not exactly a trench coat, but to be even more fair, I have no clue what the fuck that's meant to be. It does become a trench coat when those masked things become undone in the final fight. At the time of recording, we still don't know what Doctor Doom is going to look like in Avengers Doomsday, but so far the bar is on the ground. And by the bar, I mean the 1994 Doctor Doom. His Rise of the Silver Surfer look was better, I guess, but any progress made with that was catapulted backwards by his fantastic look.
Yeah, that's one of the worst costume designs ever.
The blur from Smallville. You know, if you have a silhouette of a person with a wavy cape attached to the back and you ask someone to guess who that character is meant to be, chances are one of the guesses will be Superman. Because Superman is arguably the most recognizable figure in Western fiction to ever wear a cape. And you know what that means for a show all about Superman? Never give him the cape, apparently. If you haven't seen Smallville, Clark basically operates as a hero out of the public eye, kind of like a vigilante operating in the shadows. He wears a full black outfit.
Oh my gosh, that looks ridiculous. Superman should never be dark or brooding or colorless.
Even though I liked it as a kid,
Unless it's old man Superman.
and in case you're wondering, yes, he eventually did upgrade his costume to this. Because what's cooler than a trench coat?
Man, that's bad.
The jacket, of course. I'm pretty sure every costume designer on the show was a dad stuff in the 90s. However, I will say that at least the trench coat gave him the cape-ish silhouette, and it would look really cool when he's moving about sometimes. There's this one really cool rescue scene in Smallville, and oh my god, it looks so sick. But, you know what didn't look sick? Exhibit 1C, we got Daredevil 2003's Bullseye. Okay, for the tone of the movie and what the movie ended up becoming, I guess it's somewhat possible. But how does
As far as character designs go, that's okay. It's just not really what I would pick for Bullseye.
Head scar on display? Like, how is that better than giving him just a regular costume? In fact, I feel like giving Bullseye a costume would have at least balanced it out between good and evil, because it's
Yeah.
Daredevil was in this world with no
Yeah, and isn't Bullseye's costume kind of dark blue? Wouldn't that make like a nice counter to Daredevil's dark red?
It's memorable, I guess. Exhibit 1B is actually a pretty universally liked one. It's Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man 2.
That's pretty sick.
One thing that sets apart Doc Ock's trench coat skills from the others, no, it's not his bare chest, no, it's not that badly photoshopped No Way Home poster. It's obviously because the man has two trench coats on. Seriously, what makes Doc Ock look cool but Doctor Doom and Bullseye look like shit? I think in my opinion it's because the main factor for Doc Ock's costume is the tentacles, and they did a really great job at adapting to the real world. So when you have a solid foundation like that, you can pretty much play it safe for the rest of the look. Doctor Doom, on the other hand, he has
Yeah.
something going on where you can't.
Well, that and the trench coat was it played a part in hiding the tentacles. At least at first in that one scene where he pulls up to the bank and no one knows he's got tentacles until he whips them out. All right, you gotta go. Well, hey man, thanks for joining us. Catch you later, dude.
Only do one thing without doing the other. If you just gave him a metal mask without anything else, he would just look like a hardcore Casey Jones. Bullseye on the other hand, well, that just looks a bit shit, doesn't it? Dude, they even took the trench coat Doc Ock look into Spectacular Spider-Man and into the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. The look was just too goated. So
Yeah.
if it's done right, it looks cool, okay? But I am gonna assume that we are past the phase of just chucking on the trench.
That and when your thing is that you have inadvertently grafted, permanently grafted your crazy ass octopus prosthetic onto your entire torso, what are you supposed to wear? You only have so many options, and as long as we're talking about it, how long in Spider-Man 2 was Doc Ock stuck with that thing on his body? Because it got fused to his body, right? There's a horrible electromagnetic field, and it burned it to his body, and it fused to him. Wouldn't you think that he would get an infection, right? Don't you think he would need medical treatment at some point to deal with the burns? And the fact that this horrible metal chassis is seeping into his flesh? Wouldn't you think that he would just be rife with pus and gangrene?
Onto any character. Like I say with Doc Ock, some costumes just have to be adapted
I don't know.
to the modern day correctly. And sometimes, yes, that means toning down the gadgets and the comic book techno bullshit gizmo for something more digestible on screen. Unfortunately, this process sometimes leads to results that are borderline unrecognizable with what we started with. And that's all thanks to converting everything into realistic tech/science. Exhibit 2A, we got Bane from Dark Knight Rises. I know the Nolan movie,
One of the worst super costumes ever.
but needless to say, he adapted
Dude looks stupid. He's got a metal face hugger.
Scarecrow still had his fear function, Joker still had his clown look, Bane still had his venom. Whoa. Who is this? Cool design, don't get me wrong, but nothing.
No, hard disagree on that. It looks like garbage. I hate Bane's design in Dark Knight Rises.
Face falling off. I get that the luchador mask might have been a bit too ridiculous for this world, especially for a guy who's meant to lead a group of mercenaries. But would it have been more unworldly than the mask we ended up getting? Again, looks badass, but
And the whole idea that he's literally so... I'm sorry. The whole idea that he's literally so addicted to morphine that he needs it constantly trickling into his system at all times. Just so stupid.
Bane. Come on. Arkham Origins did a good job of adapting the luchador mask without losing any seriousness, so there's some proof that it could work. Exhibit 2B, we got Green Goblin from Spider-Man 1 and Green Goblin from Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think a lot of people who grew up with the Willem Dafoe Green Goblin design actually liked it, including me, but it is hard to defend when comparing it to the original Green Goblin.
I never know how to feel about this costume. Never, because I get it from both sides. Yeah, don't take that out of context or anything. It's just, on the one hand, yeah, you're taking like the Green Goblin and making it into like a power suit, and that just seems so silly. But like at the same time, it's the Green Goblin. What are you supposed to do?
Look, I know they tested out the animatronic Green Goblin mask and they deemed it too scary for kids or something, which
Well, it's just goofy. Like that was not the solution. Come on.
enjoyed by the whole family. I can already hear you fatties type away on the keyboard saying, actually, we shouldn't fucking use that mask. I wouldn't have been scared as a kid. Fuck those other kids. I'm different, you know? Well, guess what, okay? You would have been scared, you would have shat your pants, and your breath stinks. As for the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Green Goblin design,
That's terrible.
here, I don't really mind it. It's a good alternate world look for Green Goblin. But
No way.
this wasn't some alternate world. This was the main Spider-Man franchise that was being exposed to hundreds of millions of people all around the world. Remove the glider and good luck trying to guess who that's meant to be. That is the fucking dream elf. I think giving it
Yeah, it's like garbage.
would dramatically improve this design. How would they give a practical reason for it? No clue, because they kind of put themselves into a corner by saying, oh my god, everything in this world is from Oscorp Tech. Or, since this franchise is heavily influenced by the Ultimate Spider-Man,
Man, he looks stupid.
into a CGI goblin monster. Fuck it. But needless to say, the final choices for his face are just ugly. Let's just thank the heavens that we ended up getting the no way
He just looks like Allergy Man.
cook. It goes crazy hard. Exhibit 2
Yeah, that costume slaps.
costumes. We got Fan Force Stick.
Best Green Goblin ever.
Fan Force Stick. So in case you didn't know, apparently colors just weren't allowed back then. I don't even know if you can call this movie a
Yeah, those costumes suck.
single superhero costume. And for the thing,
They're so dead serious in terms of their design. It's just boring.
different direction, focus more on the sci-fi and the body horror elements, and let's just say, I see the vision. You know, I can see that working. And you know what?
Freaking yawning looking at these costumes. They're terrible.
Compared to Doctor Doom, oh my god, how is the
And naked Ben Grimm never looks right.
face and body, and they were like, okay, this is a really quick and easy way to tie Doctor Doom's origin with the Fantastic Four's origin. But this isn't a pack of noodles. Quick and easy will not work for Doom. I will say that if this was an alternate look for Doom, I don't think people would have really minded, especially because I think this design would look way better illustrated in comic form. I think they took some inspiration from Doctor Doom in the Ultimate comics.
Man, that's so bad. I keep saying it, but Fan Four Stick Doom just looks like a monkey made out of tinfoil.
Big Ken doll that looked like it was left by the radiator for a bit too long. Exhibit 2D, we got Silver Samurai and the Wolverine. This one's a bit sad.
Haven't seen that one, so I can't speak too much about it.
Or that's Shredder from the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movie. Leather costumes was a superhero design trends that plagued the 2000s, and thankfully it's died down since. The most prolific criminals for this trend is undoubtedly Exhibit 3A, the X-Men trilogy. Before we really get into this, let me play devil's
Okay, now slow up a bit, Homestyle. Those costumes slap. I'm absolutely down for the 2000s X-Men costumes.
In the late 90s/early 2000s, adapting comic books into movies just wasn't a thing anymore, and I mean authentically adapting the costumes and everything. The whole thing kind of died off with Batman and Robin, so we got movies like Blade, which was a comic book movie, but not really. So getting the X-Men off the ground onto the big screen was a pretty big challenge, especially because every character's costume was just a primary color. And that is how we got Leather Black.
They do have distinctive piping, though, to make them stand out a little more. I don't know, I feel like they have enough going on in their designs so they can get away with it.
Yeah, sick, Leather Black for everyone. Okay, but honestly, if you never knew who the X-Men were and this was your first exposure to them, it doesn't look that bad. But then you compare it to how
Agreed.
they look, and that's when these choices become questionable. All these men live with different personalities and different powers, and they're all wearing the same shit. But I think the real crime comes post-X-Men 1.
Yeah, but they're also a team, so they kind of should match to some extent.
When they made X-Men 1, there haven't been any recent proof that comic book costumes can work on screen without looking too.
And yeah, I get it. The normal X-Men costumes do match to some extent, but this guy's saying, like, he almost comes across as saying that they shouldn't match at all.
You want to play it safe and make sure you earn your money and get a good word of mouth. And Spider-Man came out, and Spider-Man 2 came out, and then throughout the entire X-Men trilogy, no one was ever like, hey, since we
Yeah, that Daredevil costume slaps.
superhero costumes, maybe we should give it a try. No, they just held on for dear life onto these costumes until the trilogy ended. And yes, X-Men First Class was finally like, hey, wait a minute, what if we had colors in our outfits? 7 Days of Future Past we got a little color, then Apocalypse went back to bland and boring, but at the end of Apocalypse, we did it. We hit the
Yeah, because that's how you make things more serious. You make the costumes more boring. Hey, yo, that Nightcrawler looks pretty sick. What is this again?
gold mine. A gold boring, but at the end of Apocalypse, we did it.
End of I don't even remember. I really don't. I don't remember that at all. I barely remember Apocalypse. That movie was so boring.
We hit the gold mine. A gold mine that was never mined again because after that we just went back to some very mediocre costumes. I'm going to guess that in Avengers Doomsday we're going to see the original X-Men cast in all their colorful glory. Surely they learned something from Deadpool and Wolverine, right? Like that Wolverine costume, people loved it, but does it matter since they
Yeah.
off all the X-Men characters to show how powerful evil Iron Man is? Probably not. As long as we get these costumes on screen with the cast, I'll be happy. I'm kidding. Please don't kill off the X-Men quickly, okay? Another costume trend I have listed down here is a trend that may not make sense to you at first, but then you'll realize that
You might be onto something. I think there is a certain perception that X-Men are expendable. Just because you do get them cheaper by the dozen.
Exhibit 4A, we got Netflix's Iron Fist. I'm not
Oh boy. First off, just that Quicksilver, like MCU's Quicksilver, is so stinking boring with his tracksuit.
sure who saw Daredevil get a costume and was like, Iron Fist also has an iconic.
Man, Iron Fist's costume is so freaking sick. That is one of my favorite superhero costumes ever. Absolutely rules.
No costume it is. It did tease his original look in flashbacks, but
Oh, that looks like garbage. Looks so stupid.
like a homeless dude. And if you're making a superhero show like that, then I'm afraid that's a symptom of a bigger problem. Luckily though, and I'm pretty sure most of you don't remember this, but Danny Rand actually did get given a vigilante costume in season 2, which makes sense because after reading all the feedback from season 1, it's a no-brainer to give him the costume in season 2. I mean, let's look at it now.
Oh my gosh. That is straight up the opposite of what he should look like. The yellow part is supposed to be on the upper part of your head. What are you doing?
Oh. Looks a bit shy. Did someone forget to
He just looks like the Sprite Killer.
tell them the Iron Fist mask is meant to be on the other half of his face?
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
expected I get up and to have the Iron Fist mask and the dragon symbol. Like,
And the colors are just so muted. Like, come on, man. This is boring.
it's not even like Jessica Jones or Luke Cage who have popular costumes that look like regular clothes. Iron Fist has a costume that shares history with his origins, and the modern version of his costume, it wouldn't even be that hard to make with a TV budget. So yeah, if Iron Fist
No. Sorry, but I don't compromise. I want Iron Fist with the open leotard showing off his badass dragon tattoo with the crazy ass collar and the crazy hood, and like, I want it freaking crazy, man. He is so stylish. Don't dial it down at all. If anything, he should have like the wildest like Spawn style CG tassels and color and everything.
my costume. Exhibit 4B, we have Batman v Superman's KGBs. This is what
Kind of surprised there hasn't been another crack at Spawn. Considering how infamous that movie is for its CG, I would have thought they would want to like redeem themselves on that.
KGBs looks like in the comics. And as you can tell, they're pretty much identical, right? Okay, fine, you got me. The only reason I wanted to see that gun on was to see Batfleck tear it off and attach it to his Batmobile. I get it though. Having another costume character in this movie would have just added more confusion. And confusion was something we did not need more of in Batman v Superman. Because if a character has a costume, a regular member of the audience is going to be like, oh, okay, they must be important. When in reality,
I did not remember this character at all.
just the guy working with Lex Luthor. And
Like, who is this?
four characters in that movie. Fucking hell, Justice League 0.5 that movie was. Exhibit 4C, we got Baron Zemo in Captain America Civil War. I already talked about this recently, but this was decision making fits the character, it fits the story, and eventually we saw the comic accurate costume. What more?
I don't even. I was not aware that this character ever had a costume. I was not aware that this character existed outside of Civil War. Who is this? And that costume looks stupid, by the way. Like, what is that? Is that supposed to be like a grayish green and then plum and red? It's just, that is a freaking mess of colors and shapes. No, thank you.
What can I say? What more do you want? Alright, the final trend I got for this list is the generic mercenary slash militarization transformation. So for some reason, Hollywood loves stripping away costumes from superheroes and superheroes into some generic mercenary slash military gundu. Why? It's easy, I guess. The most recent example of this is Exhibit 5A, Captain America Brave New Worlds, The Serpent Society. So if you've seen Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes or whatever Marvel show, you probably know that the Serpent Society is a team full of...
Nope, never heard of him. Never.
I'll admit it, the very idea of them is very dumb and candy, but at the same time, it's kind of cool. And I do believe that translating them on screen can be done. Make them cyborgs, make them aliens, make them a dark reflection of the Avengers. I don't know, anything for an excuse to get their costumes on. What I won't stand for, though, is making them a bunch of nameless mercenaries who use guns to fight. What?
I have no idea who these characters are, dude.
An Easter egg. This is a fucking insult. Let Sam Wilson buy some supervillains. Fucking hell. There's a reason why he's getting zero aura with the general public. It's because he got him fighting forgettable bozos all the time. Exhibit 5B is Bullseye and Daredevil Born Again. FYI.
Wow. That's... Dude, just go back to the leather jacket. Like, if this is what we're gonna be rocking, please, by all means, bring back the leather drip. Cause this is not it. This looks like freaking Kick-Ass. This looks like a blueberry flavored Kick-Ass.
Bullseye's appearance was part of the reshoots, and God knows how short of a time span the costume designer had to scrap this.
Oh. Where's the thing on it? I mean, I know it's not practical, but like, come on, man.
I think I took inspiration from the new Ultimate look, but there are just two things that I'm really not liking. First, the shirt. Come on. The dude falls over on the pavement once and it's gonna be all bleeding.
Dude's built like me. Like, he's all like skinny fat. What is going on here?
He pounds a six-pack of beers for breakfast every morning. But the bigger crime here is undoubtedly that horrendous ski mask. That mask is fucking cooked. It makes his head look like a skateboard race. Whereas Jawline has been blessed to wear a superhero mask, and this is when you choose to flip the face hole mask to just show his eyes. Make it make sense. I'm sure this costume looks better as concept art because you can control how the...
I'm sure it didn't. I'm sure it was bad from the conceptual level.
What are we doing here? Exhibit 5C is Hawkeye in the early MCU. For some reason, they were really scared to give Hawkeye a costume early on. We get it, he works for S.H.I.E.L.D., but I hate to break it to you, but in this team of colorful individuals, the color black's already been taken by Black Widow. To this day, we still haven't seen Jeremy Renner gone yet.
Yeah, what is that? He looks like dark maroon.
Team gets the shit together, we probably never will. I was satisfied with the fit that they had with the Disney Plus show, I'll give them that. But his Avengers 2012 look was basically just nothing. Just lines, black lines on black. Cool, but generic. And finally, Exhibit 5B, we got Jimmy Olsen. Yes, somehow Jimmy Olsen has made it onto this list. CIA agent James Olsen.
What?
I already talked about this recently, but yeah, done. And before we end this video, I just want to spotlight a special movie that managed to take a plethora of these trends and stuff them down into one movie. And that one movie is X-Men Origins Wolverine. I give Wolverine a somewhat pass because
Oh my gosh.
it's such an iconic look for it.
Original Ovaltine.
No, Sabretooth's got a trench coat and he looks nothing like Sabretooth. However, Lee Stryker was pretty much perfect casting. It's just a shame that his look was so forgettable. And we have Gambit. Gambit?
Oof.
How the original design. So it's
Oh man, I do not remember him looking quite that bad, but wow. Wow.
one problem. There is no costume here. Character like Bob, I give points for actually going the whole way with his fattiness. I think that's his one thing you just have to nail and everything is okay. It's like his Doc Ock tentacles. Agent Zero slash Maverick, radically different, just became a generic.
Okay. All right. I think it's hard to complain about this one because, wow. That costume is garbage. What a mess.
Sharpshooter military
What a mess of shapes and colors.
in the 90s will be a bit impossible because
Ain't no way, bruh.
ammunition belt in every pouch in the entire world. Wade Wilson? Yeah, okay. And that's pretty much all. Wait, no, never mind. This is the same philosophy I was talking about for the Amazing Spider-Man 2 screen.
Oh, man.
They just brutalized it until it stopped breathing.
I don't hate that character design, but it's not freaking Deadpool. Like, it's got the same problem as Bullseye. Like, this should be somebody else, please.
Everything is beyond recognition. I feel like they threw in those diamond eyes to be like, hey, we love our source material. And everyone else was like, no, you fucking don't. It's just so mind-boggling to think about the thought process that went behind every component of this look. Why no mouth? Why is he shirtless? You couldn't have at least just given him some dark red body armor? How does he even bend his arms when his blades are inside them? Oh my god. And speaking of adapting things into live action and Marvel movies, I did make a video exactly about that, and we talk about the Thing versus the Hulk, Spider-Man and Daredevil teaming up and all that jazz.
Man.
If you haven't already, make sure to check out my discussion channel. Make sure to check out.
Okay, now what else we got? We got MCU's rejected character designs. I think he's got 2 of them. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Like, just based on those, the thumbnail though, we're in for a treat.
So if you didn't already know, for big franchises like Marvel, concept art is usually done before the script is even finished. Because for fast-moving projects like that, they kind of have to think of things well before they have to actually start filming. And that's why we also get a lot of CGI costumes nowadays, because lots of decision-making is done after filming the actual movie. So let's look at some character design.
Oh.
To the final cut.
Okay.
I'm so excited for the new Tron movie.
Oh.
This was indeed a design considered for Thor. Probably would have been the best.
Thor? That's supposed to... No. I didn't even... Oh. I didn't know who that was supposed to be. Thor? Ain't no way, bruh.
This was indeed a design considered
Thor.
would have been the battle suit he's given to fight in the arena with Hulk and stuff. And you can tell it's Thor because he has those 6 circle things, which he usually has in every one of his designs. But yeah, let's adjust that helmet. You're telling me we barely see him sport his iconic helmet throughout any of these movies, and then you consider giving him this birth defect Magneto helmet? I'm honestly convinced that this was one of those suits made to just sell merchandise because, let's be
Oh, man, that is bad. There's something disgusting about it. Something organic.
I couldn't even tell you which one was.
Why is his helmet shaped and colored like something I would spit up after having a really bad chronic nosebleed?
However, I will say, if we took off the helmet, removed the sleeves, and maybe chucked in the cape in there,
No. Unsalvageable. Unsalvageable.
Kirby, you know? I mean, the guy looks like an Eternal, okay? That's not cool. I'm just saying with the right modifications, this could have...
Back to the drawing board. There's no saving this. There is no saving this at all.
Here we have Captain High Patrol. Now, I know most of us didn't really like what we ended up getting in the Avengers 2012 movie, but I think it's better than whatever this is. My eyes don't even...
Yeah. First off, the colors. Like, what colors? It's so muted. And then everything about it, like, this is too much. This is just, like, shapes and shapes and shapes. They're like a freaking Tetris costume. Way over designed.
Why does every single panel have to curl up around the edges? Every single one. I just want to get a stick of glue and just roll it around on the sides of every single panel and just flatten it out. But hey, let's be real, it's not that bad. The main issue with the costume
No, it is. It really is. He doesn't look like a hero, for one.
I think in my book it's definitely
The one thing that I think this costume has going for it is the way that these lines here, they kind of like neatly complement the profile of both the shape of his chest and also the star in the center. Like, that's probably the one thing he's got going for him.
+1, but it depends on how they do the neck thing, because I think that's the defining factor of how shit. But Barnes as the Winter Megatron. As you can see here, they've clearly gone for something more mechanical looking for the arm rather than the sleek look we got in the movie. Would this arm have made more sense anatomically? Yeah. Does it look better? Not really. I mean, come on, the guy's major weakness is someone tossing some
It's passable, but it's like no, it's not nearly as iconic without the big, super shiny metal arm.
but I think they ended up going with the right decision. Because this arm just looks a bit generic, whereas the arm we got, whether it's more realistic or not, looks more iconic. But speaking of Dr.
Yeah.
Octopus, look who we have here. Yes, this is indeed Doc Ock from the Ultimate Spider-Man.
What? Doc Ock? But he's got like nothing. Like literally nothing. This is just Guy Man. Captain Dude. This is just Noah Antweiler. Like, why?
Animated series. This is making me realize that we never ended up seeing the Winter Soldier without his mask and just his goggles, unless you count his eyeshadow, which is weird because I feel like the goggles were a substitute for the domino mask that Winter Soldier has in the comics, because we see him a lot with the mask but without the goggles, but not the other way around. Whereas maybe Hydra was like, our final plan is to release COVID-19 onto the world, so be prepared for that. Anyway, definitely prefer the black I ended up going with, because to put it simply, it's just more badass. I don't mind the trench coat here, but I like
That sucks. Oh no, he's saying it's Doc Ock because he has a trench coat. He's not literally saying it's Doc Ock. This is like a different version of the Winter Soldier. He even says so right down there. Or, yeah, okay. Alright, I get it.
Dan Cole. Because at this point, he's just a mindless soldier being sent out on missions to assassinate people. Like, he's a fucking machine. Alright, next. Next we have Black Panther and Captain.
That I actually dig on. I'm actually for that costume. I like it. I like it a lot. Look at his neck. That's like a Zorro neck. I'm for this. I am for this costume, unironically.
America's Civil War. Oh my god. Black Panther had one of the strongest introductions in the MCU, and I'm afraid that if he came out swinging like this, no one would have been hungry for that solo. But let's get this out of the way from the
No, again, I'm for it. I'm for it, and that sells me on what he was saying in like one or two videos ago about like a proper luchador looking Bane. Like if it was like that, if it was like the cowl, like that could work, and I think that design proves it. That's a different character, obviously, I know.
Batman suit before he sprays it black, which is such an oddly specific comparison, but it looks exactly the same. But the Batman comparisons don't stop there. Oh no, they don't, because my man's out here with mouth and eyes just fully gaping. I know I spotted this look a couple times, like in the Ultimate Avengers animated movie, and even back then, it was a bit, hey, how you doing, you know? I believe he also has an exposed mouth in the new Black Panther Ultimate comic series. Well, it's not really new anymore.
Okay, that looks kind of weird.
But going back to this.
Because he's got like a weird puffy cat face in that. But that's fine. That's okay. Like, controversial opinion, I know, but
Sloped down. It's kind of giving Catwoman with the ears we ended up getting pointed up, which makes a big difference because, you know, these ears just look a bit submissive, a bit beta, if you will. Also, in case you ever get locked out of your house, I suggest hitting this guy up because one of the 20 keys around his neck will probably fit. Speaking of Civil War, we have Baron Zemo. You've probably already seen this one before, and people online being like, oh, this one's so much more comic accurate. Why do you
I don't know who Baron Zemo is. I know he's the villain in Civil War, but the idea that he is like an established character, I'm not familiar with him.
a sword? Like, what's a sword got to do against Iron Man or Captain America or Winter Soldier? Like, let's be real. Because I think
What if it's like a high frequency sword?
lost his family. He wasn't some crazy teched out supervillain with a fucking sword, which is obviously a big departure from the comic version, who's a... I don't even know. He leads the Masters of Evil and he has daddy issues. And by looking at the eyes, it looks like we're going to go for the whole, oh my god,
Okay, that design that I'm looking at, this one in the costume, that's actually okay. What the? What is going on? Wow. Yeah, the thing no one watched. Whoa. Hold on. Whoa. Who is that? That's Star-Lord? He looks like the most evil bastard in the universe. He makes Darth Vader look like a Boy Scout. Holy crap. Look at this Battlefront looking dude. He looks hardcore. Ain't no way is this dude the Guardian of the Galaxy. He looks so evil. I can't get over it. So unbelievably sinister. That is spine chilling. Wow. Wow. For him, okay, he really needs the Japanese style, like red scarf. That's what I'm kind of getting. Could we just like flashback real quick? So that's what he's supposed to look like? Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Red scarf, yellow or khaki jacket. That would save it. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? It might have been nice to bring in the proper helmet later on. But not like this. This is too scary. This is not. This is not cute goober Chris Pratt on adventures through space listening to classic rock. This is like absolutely like spine chilling Dark Lord of the Sith. Oh. Wow. This is like Yondu spliced with that one version of Namor that we got. He looks like one of the merfolk from Ixalan in Magic the Gathering. Wow. Old ass boomer looking Rocket Raccoon. That is wow.
Apparently, they almost went with a rocket that looks triple the age of the rocket that we've got. This rocket is
Yeah,
behind on his child support bills, his rent, and his AA. It's not even just a hair, but you have to give him a
that looks like a rocket that is like at the end of his days.
So if they did want to go for an older rocket, this one doesn't look that bad. I don't know why you'd ever want to go for an older rocket, but actually this looks like a
Yeah, old rocket would just be like really sad. Like you don't want to see old rocket.
good design for Rocket's father. If he never did the whole
You just want it to be like a young bastard forever.
just get Stan Skarsgård, the boys, and then boom, you got yourself another classic James Gunn daddy issue story. Okay, but seriously, the amount of untrimmed hair on this guy is insane, and you don't want to be scaring people away like that. That's why I partnered with Manscaped for today's video. When we're talking about picking the best for a bunch of different looks, you can't just talk about characters, you have to look at yourself as well, which is why
Okay. Alright. We got a sponsor, folks. I'll go ahead and let him rock. Man, I can't believe I ran out of Mountain Dew so fast. I figure we'll do this in one more video, and then we'll go ahead and read the new One Piece chapter, and then we'll knock off for the day. I'm not feeling Bloom's Tower Defense today. Why is that Ant-Man so scary? Why is he so scary? No, no, no. No. Do not. Oh, that helmet is so much better.
which I know is a weird thing to say for a helmet. Like, oh, obviously a helmet is going to look like a human. Who cares? As long as it looks cool. But from a creative standpoint, it's a bit hard to attach yourself to a protagonist who looks like this. That's why this anime looks more like a henchman
Yeah.
than the main character. At least to me. And by the way, I am not an expert in any of this, okay? I'm just talking shit from my own head. And speaking of Ant-Man, we also have this alternate costume that was also considered. Lots of black,
No. Still looks like a supervillain. Way too intense. I don't know. I feel like that's a stretch.
I think it's kind of fun to do stuff like that. The helmet is always perfect. We got a visible mouth like the Ant-Man in the comics. But for both of these concept art pieces, we're missing the antenna, which really sells the whole ant aspect, in my opinion. Overall, these two aren't bad, but I'm pretty happy with the one.
No, I hate them. I hate them both. I think the Ant-Man we got was fine. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, these are all terrible. All of them. There's not a single passable Spider-Man costume among them. They're all too dark and muddy. Yeah, these are all bad. No, I hate it. You know what else I don't like about the the Iron Spider suit? The two-tone blue, like the light bright blue and then the dark navy blue. Like no.
Also, it just looks a bit too two-toned. Like it's a comic and it's meant to be black, but they put blue shading on it. Now everyone assumes it's blue, like Spider-Man 2099. First of all, as much as I like the Superior Spider-Man suit, I don't think it would have been a.
Hold on, what was that? Originally intended to be black and red. Man in black. Due to printing limitations, blue is used as a highlight color for black.
Spider-Man 2099. First of all, as much as I like the
Yeah, I prefer that. Frankly.
I don't think it would have been a good production suit. Come on, this is the first
I don't like red and black Spider-Man.
you're gonna use the evil Spider-Man costume. What kind of message are we trying to send here? I don't think I would have minded something that looks more like Scarlet Spider, Ben Riley-ish, because we were just coming out arguably one of the best one-to-one on-screen superhero costume adaptations of all time. So I think it would have been okay to just break things up a bit and try something a little bit different. In terms of the black, we did get the black and red combo in Far From Home, which looked pretty cool in my opinion. So
No.
mad about them not.
No, I hate it.
I think what they ended up going with was a safe choice, but these ones ain't so bad either. I do like the shade of blue here though. It blends in better with the tech lines everywhere. It doesn't make them stand out as much. But now that you mentioned Ben Riley,
Oh,
this is literally
yes.
what the Ben Riley Scarlet Spider looks from head to fucking toe. So this is obviously
Scarlet Spider looks so sick.
man, this would have been a great choice. First of all, you're kind of eliminating any opportunity in the future to use this costume when the real Ben Riley ever shows up. I mean, well, the odds of the MCU ever
Oh, that looks spectacular. No pun intended. But like, oh yeah.
even more than a clone Sanders, so you never know. The homemade suit we got, I think was pretty perfect. It was pretty much this though, except with the red and blue inverted. Except for the mask. My guy was going full DIY here. He's not done some McFarlane Spidey eyes with some white and black paint. How would he even see through that? No clue. And this would have been the first live-action Spider-Man movie costume with fabric lenses. Here's your Uncle Jimmy dressed as Spider-Man at your 8th birthday party.
Ooh.
This costume tells me one thing, Peter's got some fucking sick design skills. You're telling me you fucking got a Sharpie and drew all those web lines in perfect symmetry? Oh my god. And there's your dog.
That blue is way too light. Sorry.
Someone please nerf this guy. I like the lens, a good alternative if you didn't have the mechanical ones. They remind me of the Superior Spider-Man lens, which, hey, maybe
Spider-Man with sky blue just looks cursed to me. Spare me.
I do have to say that this looks like as if a guy bought a Spider-Man costume and just cut everything from the waist down.
I can't believe how easy it is to get the Spider-Man costume wrong. Like, am I just really picky?
For a blue onesie. Still, I kind of fuck with it, I can't lie. This isn't Doctor Strange, this is Doctor Normal. So this is a Doctor Strange superhero where they consider having this.
Why is his head so big?
That was a joke, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. I mean, what can I say? Just boring. Cool, but boring. Looks as if Fox was making a Doctor Strange movie and felt the need to.
No, like, really, why is his head so big? That is so distracting.
The black looks sick. I'm always a sucker for black and red, but it would have been a step backwards, in my opinion. I mean, we only got the yellow gloves once. I mean, it did look kind of weird when they showed it that one time in Thor Ragnarok. It looked like dishwashing gloves. But come on, you guys can work on it. Use the yellow a bit. I don't know. His daughter, man. I know people might hate me for this, but I'm glad this wasn't.
What am I looking at?
Before Tony transfers Mark 50 suit to Doctor Strange to protect him from Ebony Moore's torture. In fact, we have another piece by the same artist depicting that very scene. Not sure how armor protects you from magic like that. Is that how it works? I have no idea. And this is just my opinion. The suit changing color and design to fit Strange is a bit much. If I just suspend all disbelief, which I should because it's the fucking fictional suit.
That's too much.
Yeah, maybe I can get behind it. But with the Eye of Agamotto, the art director with the symbols around it, come on. You're gonna tell me this wasn't considered just to make more merchandise money? This does kind of trip me out though because it kind of does look like a more comic accurate Tony Stark. And this was near the beginning of the movie too. Let's not pretend that the movie needed more fan service when we had the gargantuan that was Endgame coming right after. And if you want me to check out more rejected MCU character designs, I did do a part 1 to this way back when, and I did do it.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and check this out then. More.
Concept stuff for big movies.
Let's do this.
Movies is a pretty interesting thing.
Let's just roll right into the next one.
Come up with a huge array of ideas that may or may not make it into the final film. And I want to emphasize, may not make it into the final film. Because when you have an opportunity to idea with complete freedom, that's when the best ideas come about. And for the concept art stage, literally any idea that passes through, they'll give it a crack. Because why not? It's Spider-Man No Way Home, a movie that's been out for almost 4 years now. Isn't that fucked up? I feel like it came out 2 years ago, max. The thing about No Way Home is that there are so many beloved characters featured in that movie that you know that behind the scenes there were so many ideas thrown at the wall before settling on the ones that we saw in the movie. So let's look at some designs that did not make the final cut. These are exactly what I would have expected.
Okay, what is this? What are these at the bottom? No, this is not. This is not it. This is not where we're rocking like at all. This though, these I actually kind of f with. These are slick.
Let's get this out of the way. Yes, I am disappointed that Kevin Feige said that they would not be repeating Spider-Man villains because yes, I would have loved to see what the MCU would have done with Doc Ock. Let's start with the top half. We got the classic green jumpsuit with the MCU lines. Not gonna lie, looks pretty sick. Although
I can't pick a favorite between those two.
this design, but I was always confused how Doc Ock's tentacle belt went over his clothes. Because when he first got the tentacles attached to him, all he had was the fucking white beard, right? So all the subsequent tops he had on, did he have to make a crop top out of them to fit it in? Now if you look at the bottom half, see, this makes slightly more sense. Do I think it looks better? No, but I still think it's interesting. The tentacle belt reminds me of those hiking backpacks where you have that clip for your chest and a clip for your waist for weight distribution, which makes sense because having all that weight around your waist will fuck your back up. So let's adjust the hair. Yo, I like this really pushing
Yeah, what's with
all the Garfield movies and
what's with the swashbuckler look?
just very similar to
What's with Captain Jack?
this Art Octavius was not reading his wife poetry, he was reading her the fucking Kama Sutra. Yeah, forget it, this is definitely not the Raimi Doc Ock. The only reason I wanted to include this was the
No, dude, no.
different hands. As cool as this
Doc Ock is not supposed to be smexy. He's frumpy. He is frumpy guy.
suctions, I think this
Come on.
it might have looked a bit messy and hard to keep track of which arm had which weapon, and you know, sometimes less is more. Could you imagine this Doc Ock trying to justify that one massive blade tentacle to the engineers? Like, yeah, that's obviously gonna be used as a screwdriver. I will say that the blunt tentacle with no gravity would probably let Doc Ock actually punch Spider-Man in the face instead of just smacking him, which would make fights more interesting and diverse. I guess if there's one word to describe this Doc Ock, it would be diverse. Dude, just shoot this into my...
Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. That's Doc Ock I can get behind. That looks so good.
Now, this is not a perfect live-action look for modern day Doc Ock. The Raimi one was great for its era, but now that we're entering a phase of unapologetic colorful costumes, this would fit right in. So I'm pretty sure the concept behind this is that he finds a mechanic's jumpsuit after his clothes get torn, which, hey, sometimes it's just that simple. I mean, that is perfection. Is it not? The only thing I will
Yeah.
say is that for this look, I would have loved to see the round tentacle heads with the small pincers, but that is such a nitpick though. However, I can see why they didn't opt for this look. It's a bit too different from the Doc Ock we're meant to be familiar with. Like all these villains are
Nah.
movies, but if you change the costume too much, it's kind of hard to keep that illusion alive. I mean, they did with Electro. But also, if they went with this look, there would have been some crowd who would have been mad about how they changed the original look, even though it's perfection. The MCU ruins everything. But again, I personally love this design. Stuff like this inspires me to take on
Yeah.
into the wild.
There was always something a little off about Doc Ock and No Way Home. I can't quite put my finger on it.
After getting some real work done, or even better, hide the multiple drawing tutorials I've opened because I constantly feel the inadequacy of my
It's like he was frumpy, but not the right frumpy.
Opera also has Aria, a built-in AI tool which can be accessed by command line control.
But yeah, I know. I'm just a picky eater, I guess, when it comes to costume design.
Tab together. You can use Aria for help with research and everyday tasks, and ever since I switched to a single monolith view, it's been so convenient to have Opera's integrated music player, so I don't have to switch back and forth between windows to play a song or podcast while I'm working. Opera supports all your favorite music streaming platforms, and I can also use it outside of the browser. And speaking of convenience, with the video pop-out feature, you can easily detach a video and keep playing while you do other things. And again, it doesn't have to stay in the browser. Finally, with themes, you can also customize your browser to whatever fits your
Bro, what is with that t-shirt he's got on?
Aurora or my personal favorite, Viking. I mean, come on, that looks sick. To download Opera for free today, use the link in my description or the pinned comment down below. Thank you to Opera for sponsoring this video. This would have pissed off so many.
Oh, wow.
At the stage where they were like, yeah, there's going to be a sequence where Iron Spider's tech it goes onto Doc Ock's body, and that's all we can say. Straight up, and I know some people might hate me for this, but the one with the tentacles and the Iron Spider legs looks kind of sick. I can't lie.
That's too much. No. That's too much for me.
But this looks like a boss fight Doc Ock. The one where he only has the Iron Spider legs, he looks kind of naked. I wouldn't have minded the one with the legs intertwined with the arms, but in the movie I think it was kind of cool to see the nanotech fold into the tentacles. So I'm not not too fast. This might be the one time I vote against.
Okay. All right. Let's drink this in. I like how there's a vague like profile of a lightning bolt on these two, at like the top. That's cool. These would not have flown. No way. And this is basically what we got right here. This is just kind of whatever. This.
Comic accuracy.
That's tough. It would depend on how it's written. You would have to like really write this look into the movie because why? Why would he put this headgear on?
If you can even call that mask comic accurate, it's like one of those masks you get when you get a broken nose. I mean, you're manic, it doesn't look that bad. Honestly, if any of these is
Well, I mean, come on. You will never get a comic accurate Electro costume. It just looks stupid, like straight up. There are things that you just cannot do.
design, I would have been fine with it. The one design out of these I'm not really a big fan of though is the one with the blue skin with the yellow costume. I feel like you just gotta go with one or the other. Or maybe I'm just mad you almost stole my channel's color aesthetic. I do like the slimmer build here though. Sometimes I felt like the Electro we got was a tad bit bulky and busy, but I really do like the design we ended up getting. So one drop of water on this dude and it's over. So I'm gonna assume that this Electro design is meant to be the exact same Electro look from the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but without the outer layer of the arm. I like the idea that underneath those black plates we got this color scheme. A nice simple explanation, but to me it's just slightly too busy and we already had it
Yeah.
out suit in the movie and yeah, we didn't really talk about that cash grab on the costume. The lightning star, obviously a cool reference to its comic book look. I'm gonna say right now, I don't know how they'll be able to accurately adapt that mask without it looking corny. We got hints of the electric star thing in the movie and you know what? I'm happy with it. My brain is
Yeah, if it was just like little bits of lightning arcing off his face in the shape of the mask, I think that is like literally the only way you could possibly do it. That isn't just totally cringe.
I honestly can't compose an unbiased opinion for this design since I'm so used to the blue skin in this suit. I mean, bro, that is a Simpson who lets the dogs breathe. Can you imagine seeing Spidey and Electra hash it out in 4DX and you see yellow toes fly towards you? Also, while Jamie Foxx stays in relatively good shape, I'm sure it's very painful that he didn't have to maintain that muscle tone and vascularity for every time he was on camera. And that's not even including the makeup and the CGI. I think the second one looks pretty cool though. I just can't process these designs to be Electro, you know? Like, it just
Yeah, no.
wrong to me. Holy Pete.
He just looks like a lemon flavored Dr. Manhattan.
Me that they were able to revamp it.
Oh. This would have been so much better. You know, this would have made me more comfortable seeing more of the Lizard in No Way Home. Is if he had like a secondary mutation that made him even more reptilian and hulking. Like, golly, that would have been so much better. The Lizard is like my least favorite character design in any of the live action Spider-Man movies. Any of them. No, because I just remembered how the Hobgoblin looked in Spider-Man 3. That was the worst one. Where he's basically just a snowboarder.
And Dr. Octopus and Electro, but the one villain who needed a revamp the most stayed the same to this day. I have no idea what they were thinking.
Yeah, good point. They tweaked almost every other design, but this. I don't even need to say anything, do I? Why is he always smiling? He looks so stupid.
Spider-Man was the design. There's probably something to show recent on Zachary through the motion capture, but bro, the look was not it. Then you get the second chance from the universe to repent for the sins of your past, and you're like, nope, never mind, let's just keep this design that no one liked. I know some people are gonna say, dude, they can't just change his appearance, it's meant to be the same character from 2001. Did you even see how much they changed Electro? They made Max Dillon into Jamie Foxx. Look at this lizard design, it's perfection, lab coat and everything. One thing
Yeah.
I understood about the original lizard design is why they ditched the lab coat so quick. It's literally part of the character's look, but I because they decide to ditch it again for this movie. In here, the lizard actually looks like a lizard. It's got an actual
Yeah.
snout and not a reptilian Voldemort face, and it looks fucking sick. Okay, listen.
Yes, Voldemort. Glad he said it. Okay, come on. Okay. Excuse me? No. Not with the Weapon X headset. Not with the freaking DBZ Power Scouter. No, this ain't it. This is not drip.
Lizard's snout that I know. Clearly, this is the route of Dr. Connors being forced to be a lizard with no actual control of his mind. Like the top one, he's got some VR headset on, so he's probably seen something to chase, like lizard vagina. Do lizards even have vaginas? I think the little vials injected into his head is an easy way to be like, oh, so this is why he looks so different now. He keeps mutating. That's why he looks more dinosaur-like and looks better. Not gonna lie. It would be a sick concept. Don't know how it would have.
No, this is a massive overcorrection. Also, just the idea of the lizard being dressed in like awesome, like pristine white clothes. Lizard's always kind of just like a nasty, dirty creature.
Forward. I don't know if any.
It does not suit him.
This is the final design I would have loved to see as well. The one thing I really love about this
Oh my gosh, is it's 1970s Spider-Man. No, bro, that is too much.
it looks, you can see the sewing scene.
That is way too much.
The eyes are pretty cool too, got those Nicholas Hammond Spider-Man vibes going. As much as I like those eyes, I don't think it would have made much sense to change these considering MCP that had already invented those adjustable eye things without the help of Stark Tech. I know Dark Blue's already been done a million times, but I fucking love it. It just looks so sleek, and with this tone of red, the red just pops out so much. Oh my god, I love it.
No,
Do I think it's better than
no, bro. I do see that it has the webbing that I was talking about, though.
I think I would have liked this better. I'm not a huge fan of the shiny blue that they ended up going with. I know a lot of people like the shiny blue. Me personally, I'm like, it's a bit too distracting for me. I would have to see
No,
how
I'm for it.
Daisy looks on the screen after all the color grading and whether they use CGI to remove all the wrinkles and shit, but that's also a strong contender for Best Spider. Someone explain when this was meant to happen. So these two were actually part of a bigger collection of Spider-Man suit ideas, and I'm pretty sure they were just done for fun. If you didn't already know, the red symbiote logo is actually based on the original fan submission for the symbiote costume, but to me, seeing it like this, it just looks like there's something wrong. The white logo, though,
Yeah, pretty clean.
we see something similar to this in Secret.
I still wait patiently, yearning for a really clean symbiote look. They always try to overdo it. They always try to add like unnecessary textures when, it's a symbiote costume. It should look alien.
Awards because that pretty much
It should look uncanny to some extent.
underneath, which I'm usually not the biggest fan of. I think they're usually okay, but for the overall look,
I like a symbiote suit that's just super sleek.
why we didn't use a traditional black costume in Spider-Man 3. This movie was already pushing it with the overcrowding, so I'm glad that they opted out of whatever idea they were considering for this. Holy spider!
Oh, wow.
Whatever. But let's look at the other thing. Black lenses. There was no way this was seriously considered, but I like it when they experiment like that. The McFarlane eyes. I know
No, that's too much. That to me is going way too far. That's the type of Spider-Man eyes I complain about the most. His eyes make up 50% of his face. No, please ring it in. Please rein it in.
dude, sign me up. Again, though, this looks a bit cartoony. I can't lie. I think it's the
No,
spaces of the plain white.
it's not me.
Garfield's lenses, they had that funky texture. Tobey Maguire's ones, they had that vignette. But this, to go all out flat white, it just looks a bit odd. I'm also going to say that I like the spaced out webbing that the MCU has gone for. We already have the tight and close webbing squares with Tobey and Andrew, so, I'm okay with this more relaxed feel. This is an MCU dream.
Oh, wow. That's no. I feel like that's taking everything that people ever complained about with the old Green Goblin costume and just making it worse.
Green Goblin. No disrespect to artist Josh Missy here, he'd be cooking on a lot of these, but had they went with this look, we would have never heard the end of it online. It's like not different enough from the Raimi version to justify the change, but it's It's also not unique enough to be memorable. By today's standards, it just looks slightly generic. You know, like it was scared of its comic book roots. In the early 2010s, though, this design would have done numbers. I can't lie. Never mind. This is the MCU Green.
This I dig. This slaps. I'm into this. The idea that he has salvaged parts of an old Iron Man costume and incorporated them into his look so that he looks a little bit more like the old Green Goblin. Like that's okay.
People getting mad at them making every Spider-Man villain into an Iron Man villain, but this would have literally made Green Goblin into an Iron Man villain. I will admit the idea and concept behind this is pretty interesting. Norman Osborn repurposing old Iron Man armor and using a drone from far from home as his glider. But had they went with this look, which I very much doubt that they seriously considered, people would have been so mad. We already had Far From Home to deal with the aftermath of Tony's passing and his technology through the ether glasses and shit, and for it to come back again.
Yeah, that was the worst thing ever.
Never escaped the Iron Boy accusation. Let's be honest, the Rainy Green Goblin costume was never comic accurate, so the MCU was never obligated to make the Green Goblin comic accurate. Spider-Man fans are extremely sensitive, and if they went with Iron Goblin over here, I think the following toxicity would have nuked the incident. Also, just doesn't do the Green Goblin.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have minded it. Which is ironic, I know, because I complain a lot about like how Iron Man has infected the Spider-Man brand, but that design I think stands on its own enough. Oh man, no. That might have passed. No, never mind. Nah, that's just bad.
Who is that? That's definitely not Willem Dafoe. In fact, that looks more like Tobey Maguire. Alright, so let's talk about that mask situation. Yeah, let's just say I can see why they didn't go with this look. Okay, so we're not going to go with the original look, but we're not going to go with the new piece either. And we're not going to go more comic accurate. We're just going to go with whatever this is. So that mask is clearly made from the original helmet, but good lord, I think this was
Yeah.
prototype for the Wolverine mask of Deadpool and Wolverine. I think the one good thing I'll say about this is the fact that it would have let Willem Dafoe show his facial expressions as a whole while having elements of the mask. Because I think the main criticism of the Green Goblin mask is that it took away from seeing the goblin-like qualities of Willem Dafoe's acting abilities. Like, yeah, this is kind of awesome. Now, this,
You know what? Well put.
in case I have to say, I think the
Oh,
Green Goblin in this movie was awesome. I think they did a great
yeah.
job merging the old original suit with more purple in a practical way to resemble the comic book look a bit more. But let's talk about the half mask here versus the goggles they ended up using. The mask looks alright, but it comes with a predetermined angry look. I think the neutrality of the goggles redirects us to look at Willem Dafoe's face for emotions, which emphasizes his craziness when he acts crazy. I guess it's kind of like how live action Batman always has that sculpted and angry
Good point. Again, very well said.
for a character like Joker. I also just really love the silhouette that the tatted
I was gonna say that I actually prefer this look for the eyes, but like everything he said about the goggles that we got, I think rings really true.
so fucking sick. Definitely more Hobgoblin inspired him, but that cape fluttering while he's on the glider, that would have looked so cool. I don't think this one's too bad either.
Oh, whoa, no.
Works pretty well. So if you couldn't already tell, this is if Osborn ended up raiding some old armor that belonged to the Dark Elves from the Fall of Dark. Well, do I think it's better than what they ended up using? No, but I still think it's
That looks terrible. What's with the beady little elf eyes?
for one of the best Spider-Man villain betrayals of all time. It's like seeing an A5 wag steak being wheeled towards you with a side of grey overcooked steak that was boiled in milk. I also think this look might be deviating too far from the original Green Goblin costume. I know that costume is a bit polarizing, but a lot of people love it. And to not keep any major elements from that costume, a lot of people would have been upset. And again,
Yeah.
I'm constantly reminded of Thor.
That's really bad. And the little pointy shoes.
Comic accurate as we were gonna get. Before no
Ooh.
I always thought about how easy it would have been to just chuck on a purple hooded cloak on the original Rainy Green Goblin suit and boom, got yourself a comic accurate Green Goblin. This design is pretty much what I meant. Again,
That's really good.
they can show Willem Dafoe's facial expressions while it's acting, because why wouldn't you want to show Willem Dafoe's facial expressions while it's acting? I wish we could have seen this at some point in the movie, but with the shit show of production movie ended up becoming, I'm happy with what they ended up completing. I mean, bro, we couldn't even
That's, yeah.
come back as Sandman in person because of the pandemic. I'm assuming that we're kind of
Wait,
limited
what?
to church to come back as becoming. I'm happy with what they ended up completing. I mean, bro, we couldn't even get Thomas Hayden Church to come back as Sandman in person because of the pandemic. I'm assuming that we're kind of limited on time.
What? Okay, at the time of filming, like, whatever. Okay. That's still stupid.
Time to make
But okay.
yeah, man, what can I say? I really love this look, and I think a lot of fans would have been pretty happy if they went with this, as long as the mask came off like halfway through the fight or something. I know people get mad when characters take off the mask, but it's like, oh, studio, they just wanted to get them
Either it comes off or it comes on.
money's worth by showing the actor's face more. But for a character design like this Green Goblin, you're literally putting a frozen facial expression on one of the most craziest characters in Marvel. And it's not even for the sake of comic book accuracy like Iron Man. I'm still upset that the MCU will never get their own genuine crack at Green Goblin and the Osborn family, but I guess we'll just have to wait for Hobgoblin or something. Well, speak of the devil. Before everyone starts pissing their pants about this piece was clearly done for fun. I think. I highly doubt they actually consider turning Ned Leeds into Hobgoblin in this movie. And not gonna lie, I can't help but admire how good the actual art is here. Would I have liked to see it unfold in No Way Home? No Way Home. Do I think the Ned Leeds character is being set up to become Hobgoblin in the future Spider-Man movie? Not really, no, because they did make a joke about it in No Way Home, so it makes me think that they wouldn't. I'm sure if the writing is good enough, they can somehow make it work, but I'm pretty protective about Hobgoblin. I really like the character. And by like the character, I mean I really liked him in the animated series as a kid, and I really like how cool he was. Like, I didn't actually read comics with him in it. What am I, a nerd? I think the Ned Hobgoblin thing can only work as a multiverse thing at this point, like if Peter encounters an evil Ned, or if Ned gets the Goblin serum temporarily and gets cured like 5 minutes later. Neither of which scenario sounds plausible at this point. And yeah, like I said before, it's crazy how we're coming up on 4 years since this movie was released. Has it aged well? Probably not. It's nothing more of a viewing experience with the theater crowd for the first time, where the hype kind of gels everything together. Because I remember watching the movie in the theaters when it first came out and see some shoddy CGI shots, and I was like,
See, I'm not a big CG snob, so
holy fuck, everything about this looks so fake and unreal. I'm not trying to be a revisionist freak here, that's why I hate when people see a decent superhero movie in theaters and they're like, oh my god, this is the greatest superhero movie of all time. Anyway, if you haven't seen me cover some other rejected MCU character designs, you can check it out.
So yeah, alright. Those were good. I liked watching those. Andy M. Lee, I really like his videos. And yeah, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and bam, just subscribe right there. That was pretty solid. Last thing I want to do for today is read up on this newest One Piece chapter, which I really don't know too much about, but I did know that Bon Clay was on the cover. Now, the first thing I heard, and it's getting a little chilly in here. It's actually like really cold where I live right now. And the novelty of this cold weather is kind of wearing thin on me. The first thing I heard was that there was a Bon Clay cover story, which that would have been amazing. That would have been so far above and beyond what I would have expected for a new cover story, which to me is almost certainly going to be Vegapunk like faffing around the world, right? And maybe we will eventually get a Bon Clay cover story, but I definitely think it's going to be Vegapunk as the star next time. But just getting a little extra Bon Clay in like a cover request. I'm down for it. This is from Pizza Maru, some swans rummaging through Bon Clay's cosmetics and putting on makeup. All right. And the title for this, by the way, if I can get it to like stop freezing up, like I'm mashing the button and it's not doing anything. Like what's going on here? Thank you. It's the Elbaf I Admire. And hopefully that's a line from Usopp, because it's about time he did something in this arc that it's supposed to be about him. The lift ascends to the Sun Realm. There are 3 foes up there. Their objective is clear. They plan to abduct 10 children from Elbaf and take them to the Holy Land. The children will serve as living shields. What's going on with Chopper's horns? Why are they so tall? What is going on here? The children will serve as living shields, leveraged to turn the warriors of Elbaf into battle thralls. Okay, what is going on here, by the way? They've got one boat that's upside down. 3 humans did all this. To think that not even the giant warrior pirates or Yasan could stop them. Sorry, I have no excuse. They may be kids, but they're still giants, right? How can 3 people our size move them? One of the 3 is a woman with a strange arrow ability. The children are unable to resist her. They just keep marching toward the West Village harbor. It's all over if they reach a ship and escape to sea. It'll all come down to that. Why can't we just take back the kids? One of the 3 is a man named Summers. I know a bit about him. You do? He became a briar man after eating the thorn fruit. He can freely manipulate vines with sharp thorns. The vines can become transparent. That's convenient. And he's wrapped them around the children. So we can't grab them? That's so cruel. Indeed, they're as tough as iron. If we clumsily try to get the kids to break their line formation, they'll turn into pincushions. It's been set up so that they'll hurt each other. And on top of that, the last one seems to have the power to make nightmares come true. The things the kids find scary have come to life to prevent their escape. The kids may appear to just be waddling along in broad daylight, but it seems impossible for anyone to stop them. The intruders have set up some sort of twisted game with their 3 abilities. We'll save those kids no matter what. How does Yasan know so much about them and their abilities? Has he fought them before? I can't remember. Was that like a flashback thing? Seems like the quickest solution is to target the 3 ability users, naturally. Even if they're as immortal as they claim, there should be a way to take them down. I mean, Harold is no longer with us, so yeah, there has to be some way to permanently defeat these blokes. We could try trapping them or crushing them, maybe even eating them. Sounds promising. Let's do this. It's the Sun Realm. Prepare to disembark. Eating them. I mean, yeah, if he gots to. Okay, big scary dragon. This is beyond anything I imagined. Are there no limits to these nightmare monsters? Look at that. Is that the great Eric? Dory and Brogy were aboard it earlier, leading the charge with their crew. Oh. Yeah. But they were shot down by those monsters. That can't be. Is that you, Hajirudin? Kashi-san, I'm glad you're okay. I was in the realm of the dead. Tell me what's going on. You won't believe this. Listen closely. Dory and Brogy are trying to kill Elder Ja Rule. They all went crazy. Please, you've got to stop them. Kashi-san, how about the children? Ripley and the others went after them. But we've had no word on their status. The kids may have already reached the harbor by now. Oh man, it's already disturbing enough seeing this happen to Dory and Brogy. If anything happens to Ripley, I might flip out. Still, though, I don't know. Like an evil version of Ripley? I could get into that. Hey Roto, listen. Bjorn was taken. This is bad. My little brother is one of the hostages? Roto, that's what, okay, I didn't know that was your little brother. I don't really remember too much about what's going on in the present. I've been stuck in flashback mode for too long. I'll join you. Me too. Hey Kashi, which way is the school? Nami-san and the rest should be close. Can you see the fire? It's coming from both the school and the library. Why is it on fire? Anyway, you said Dory and Brogy have gone crazy? That's right. Please hurry. Elder Ja Rule's in trouble. Okay. Current location. The school and the library. Branch number 8. There's Saul. They have, woof. This is a lot to take in. Wallace Rule and Owl Library. Near the library, the Straw Hats. The library is burning down. I doubt... What the... Oh dang, is Robin all like wrapped up in thorns? I doubt Chopper will be back anytime soon, and Brooke's gone off somewhere. He must be up to something. Huh. We need to get rid of these arrows before the kids are carried off. Master Dorian Broggy, I can't stand you singing like this. The Dami Reversi possessed giant pirates en route West Village. Kill Ja Rule. Please stop, captains. Open your eyes. Man, it's wild the way that it also like turns their weapons. Child rescue team, hang in there, kids. Be gone, you vile creatures. The hostage group. We're heading to the harbor, aren't we? If we get there, no whining. We're warriors of Elbaf. But we're not warriors. West Village. If you want to run, run. We have no choice, Elder Ja Rule. Captain Dorian Broggy won't listen to us anymore. I won't retreat. There's still something I've got to tell Elbaf. Ooh. Listen, people of Elbaf. I will tell you everything before I die. Elder Ja Rule? Our late dear King Harold always believed in Elbaf coming together with the rest of the world, and that led to his attempt to join the world government. But his efforts were shunned and betrayed 14 years ago on that fateful day. I saw it all with my very own eyes. Harold and all those soldiers were killed by the act of a demon. Harold struggled to his last breath to keep Elbaf from falling into that demon's hands. Wait, so Loki didn't kill our king? I held my tongue, fearing that our people would rise up in revenge, leading us to an untimely war our king never wanted. Loki took the people's anger upon himself when he sailed out to sea. He may have always been boorish, but he is innocent. That's the gist, but it's not quite how I'd put it. What? Don't get carried away, Elder Ja Rule. Now today, 3 new demons have appeared to subjugate our nation. I had hoped this matter was behind us, but we are once more in need of great power. Seems this job's over. Guess I'll go back to sleep. I'm speaking to you now, demons. You can take our culture and history, but let our little ones go. If you think this act will crush our spirit, you've made a grave mistake. We will not show you the same patience Harold did. You speak of subjecting us and picture our people to be your slaves. Who the hell do you bastards think you're dealing with? Forgive me, little ones. Cover your ears if you can. Well said, Ja Rule. The Elbaf I admire would never bend the knee. If the Harley prophecies are true, the Harley prophecies. I don't remember that. The Harley prophecies. If the Harley prophecies are true, the world is about to face a great divide one day. I'm gonna need to look that up after this. So be it. From this day forward, all Elbaf will stand against the world government. Did you really think some thorns, illusions, and this little reversey game would be enough to make us bow? I like the skeezer. I bet you do. 300 years ago, he was known as the strongest being to ever hail from these waters. He was, huh? So not Jorl. He was the stronger of the two. Dang, so the Giants have officially declared war on the world government. They've taken their side. We will never submit to your dominion. What say you, proud warriors of Elbaf? Well said, Elder Jarul. The Elbaf I know and love is back. We get it already, Usopp. Focus on getting rid of these damn arrows. We will protect the peace Harold dreamed of. Yeah, we're finally here. They said if we get caught up between them, it's over. Don't worry, I have a plan. Oh boy, stand back, folks. Zoro has a plan. Please tell me part of the plan is getting rid of that stupid mask. A spark of resistance slayers. And that's the end of the episode. That was pretty lame, actually. I was not a fan of that chapter. It seemed pretty... I don't know, boring? It seemed like a lot of talking about stuff we already knew, quite frankly. Just like re-establishing stuff. And then the only real developments, as far as I can tell, is Elbaf's decision to go to war with the world government. So... hopefully there's some more interesting action in the next chapter. I suspect that it will be almost entirely action-oriented. Oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. I was reading it like this and not like this. That's actually too visible. I don't like that. Let me tweak that. Color correction. There, that should be better, I think. Yeah, I think that should be fine. And text. The text should be more like on top. Instead of being just a big old mess. Like, everything's out of order. Everything is like horribly out of order. There, that's better. I don't know how that happened. So the Harley prophecies, huh? Let me brush up on that. Harley. Ancient religious text of great significance to Elbaf, and guess what? It shows, the book shows the like circle with the 8 circles around it, which more and more I'm picking up on the fact that that symbol is pretty freaking significant. Ancient religious texts, great significance to Elbaf, original literary source for many of the country's myths and legends, such as Nika. Describe multiple past wars and apocalyptic events, possible prophetic ramifications to the present time. Okay. And this is what talks about the first world and the second world and the third world and all that. That I remember. Okay, so. I'll probably read more in detail on this later. But for now, yeah, that's going to do it for the stream. And that was fun. Watched some cool videos and trailers and stuff, and talked about nerdy stuff like superhero costumes and Final Fantasy VII and all that, which, just as a reminder, if you haven't downloaded it, go ahead and download the current 2013 release of FF7 off Steam right now. It's super cheap. It's like less than $5. It's supposed to be delisted soon in exchange for a different one. which may or may not be compatible with old mods. So if you're interested in those old mods, this is really the time to strike. So go ahead and download that while you still can. As for us, that's going to do it for the stream. There's no break. There's no break next week, so I figure we'll stream again at around the same time. So Sunday, February 8th at 1 p.m. Probably going to stream again. Hopefully, I'll be feeling better. Have a little more energy. I don't really know what I'm going to do for that stream. If you're long-time watchers of the channel, you know that that an ongoing project has been trying to upgrade my computer to try and get it to run Psychonauts 2. For some reason, it has been working. I am very slowly trying to put that together. I've got a new motherboard. I've got new RAM. The only thing I'm really missing right now is the CPU, and then I'll try to upgrade my computer. Hopefully that'll be happening within the next month, and then we can get down to some more serious gaming content on this channel. I'm looking forward to that. I've got a lot of other projects to work on. Like, I've been trying to work with a local company to get prints made of my art to sell. At first, I'm just going to be selling locally, and then maybe at some point I'll set up like an Etsy account or something. Unfortunately, they've just been ghosting me. I've been pestering them about sending me prices for their paper prints, so you can get like nice copies of my art on like really nice poster paper, and they just haven't done it. I'm definitely gonna have to pester them about that again tomorrow. It's been really annoying. It's been really annoying just in general, feeling very ignored by a lot of people who just like to pretend that I don't exist. I try not to talk too much about my personal life on this channel, but it is definitely a factor, and it is affecting me a bit. And it's tough. It's tough to deal with sometimes, but thankfully I still got my best friend here, Jaren, and he went ahead and joined us on stream today for a little chat. It's always good having him around. But gonna work on trying to figure out how to get my paintings sold. Gonna work more on the presentation for the channel, so a new airing soon screen, a new intermission screen, a new end screen. Gonna score some music on my little guitar here. Gonna do some noodling and doodling. And other odds and ends like that. But for now, just plan to see us in a week. Again, that's February 8th at 1 p.m. If there are any changes to the schedule, and never discount the possibility of some freak incident or catastrophe or whatever. If there are any changes to the schedule, the best way to find out about them would be all my little socials down here. If you had to pick one to follow, probably be Twitter. It's just the easiest to manage for me. But for now, thanks for tuning in, and y'all have a good night. See you later.